Lorinov on the mid lane, I think everyone's had their eyes on him. You know, he's playing his Nature's Prophet, especially. It's a sight to behold. I also believe that DH is also playing things like the IO support, right? Everyone's kind of transitioned that to a core, but you still have this team playing things like Dazzle and IO, which give them a different angle to the current meta that seems to be throwing some people off. Simultaneously, you just have the king.
The king, Winter. Sumail, you wanted to have some extra eyeballs on him, as if he doesn't have enough.
Yeah, I think he is one of the key reasons why the team is doing really well. Like, he's been part of the team for a long time, but I think in this iteration, they finally figure out how to use him, because the safe lane feels more like his old style of playing mid. Because Sumail safe lane heroes, they dominate the offlaners, and some of the safe lane carry heroes like the Tiny, the Shadowfin, they are heroes that very, very fit his style very well. You win your lane, you run around the map, you kill heroes, and you can play very, very aggressive. And a lot of the mid heroes at the moment are kind of like heroes that he doesn't really like to play. The style doesn't fit him. So the safe lane is where Sumail is very, very comfortable at the moment.
And it also just complements the idea that when you look at a Nigma Galaxy draft, right, there's always layering of tankiness or survivability across all the heroes. Like, you've got the Underlord with a Dazzle, and then Clock and Alk, and then you've got in other drafts, like Largo is buffing up with Moranas. Like, there's always little ways. And of course, the epic IO Storm game that we saw in game 1 yesterday, that I still is fresh in my mind. But like, all of their drafts have these layers of, we're going to take a fight, we'll kite back, and we'll outplay you at some point because we have one spell or one piece of utility that you don't have. And I'm really excited to see what Nigma will draft today, because that is an aspect that maybe not other teams will lean on every single draft. But every draft that Nigma brings, they have some cool little teamfight outplay mechanic. And it's not always, I have a stun. It's other ways that you can win team fights.
Like black holes.
And other things.
Like bigger black holes.
Okay, they only had one, and they won. So
And
maybe,
it looked epic.
so they need 2 today.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Divine Llama is really, really clutched up in that match.
Yeah, he did.
Like, this player, I think, has received a lot of criticism, you know, due to fluctuating results over time. But honestly, I feel like this guy always just manages to claw his way up to these beautiful performances in the end. We should put more stock in him.
Yeah, I think he is maturing, I think, over the years from playing. I think when he started out his career and previous TIs, he kind of choked under the pressure. Let's just be honest. He didn't perform to the stage. And I think at least yesterday, he kind of proved to people that with time and not giving up and consistently trying at the things that you love, you will be able to achieve what you want. And I think Divine is a good testament to that no matter what happens in his previous parts of his career, today or yesterday, he is able to perform and hit a level where he's playing with the team and pushing the team forward.
And he's also changed a lot, I think, in the last 2 years. Like, previously, I would see him as a player that he needs a lot of priority. He's a polarizing player, so you need to dedicate the draft, like some resource from the support in early game for him. But in his time in Nigma recently, like, I think he's shifted to more of a team player. He doesn't really mind, oh, my team is sacrificing me, they're helping Lorinov because Lorinov is more important in the draft. It's fine, you know. I think before he couldn't really do that. Whenever he gets sacked, he just doesn't really know how to come back into the game. But right now, he knows how to come back in the game.
Yeah, it's also something trivial where, like, during the game, like when he gets killed, right? And I've cast him a million times throughout his entire career. And it's like every death, he'd have some like massive emotion, or he'd slam his desk, or he'd go like, you know, like, and he would do it. It's because he loves the game so much. But that level of emotion in the game, it's honestly like at a detriment to your performance. And then at least yesterday, like, he's doing the okay sign with the black holes.
Very mild.
Yeah, very mild. Like, he's reacting, but it's not to the, like, where his teammates are going to be looking at him like, bro, chill, the game's fine. Like, I think he's shown that he's calmed down immensely, and that makes a great player. Because, like, as much as we love the energy and showing character, Dota is so complex, so complicated, that, like, 5 seconds, 2 seconds where you turn off your brain and show some, like, other emotion, you'll forget what's happening in front of you. And it has hurt Divide multiple times in his previous games. So I think, yeah, maturity is clearly the big indicator for Divine in this TI.
Maybe the most mature person on the side of Nigma Galaxy. I'm not going to say Sumail, guys. I want to talk about Kuroki, because historically, Kuroki, obviously great player when he was playing, and then at some point he fell a little off. But every LAN he showed up to did really great. And I think that is something that, as a coach, this is his first international as a coach, he is able to instill those vibes onto his team. And I think that's super impressive.
No, 100%. And I believe I've seen some like behind the scenes footage from Nigma as well, where RMN, the old coach of Nigma,
Yeah.
is also now back here as well
He
at TI.
is, yeah.
So you kind of have like Kuroki plus RMN both in the mix to try and make this run happen.
We're going to see if the miracle run will happen with Boom Boys taking on Nigma on the stage here in Shanghai. Only one team will survive in this best of 3.
Nigma Galaxy versus Boom Boys. Game 1.
For this first game, we're going to have Boom Boys on the Radiant side, Nigma Galaxy on the Dire side. The first pick goes the way of Nigma Galaxy. The overall last pick, therefore, goes the way of Boom Boys. We got a couple of bans on the board already, starting nice and even. And there's one hero we haven't really touched upon too much. Well, we talked about GH playing it yesterday, but something everybody should be aware of is that the IO that I'm hinting at is also very much a hero that Boom Boys likes, especially in the hands of Kiritich, Rhea.
Indeed, the Kiritich IO. I think this hero goes really unpunished most of the time when I see it played. I think the way teams have kind of tackled it instead is sort of addressing the rest of the team and trying to shut that down and gain more of a map advantage. So IO doesn't really get the chances to relocate in. Because at least when we covered the games with IO before, it felt like they weren't like blocking the camps or invading his like farming space, as IO was being allowed to get items. And his hero is terrifying in the late game if he gets there, but it seems like teams have other ideas of how to shut it down.
Yeah, but it does feel like if you're in Boom Boy's shoe, you want it to be in the pool. Because if Nigma picks it, it's going to be a support. And I feel like the support IO is just not really a big deal.
Bro, did you watch game 1 of that?
After yesterday?
Were you asleep?
You know what? No, you know what the team heard? It's like, Winter, we're going to prove you wrong. Goodbye.
They proved it wrong yesterday.
They'll do it again here. But I must admit, this Winter Wyvern is popping up left, right, and center. This is also a hero that was used to great success against Nigma Galaxy by Yandex in the 2 games that Yandex won yesterday.
Guys, all I'm just saying is a support IO is more beatable than a core IO. That's all I'm saying.
Right, yeah.
Nice.
That's fair. Sure.
Calm
That's a
down,
spin. That's a
calm
spin.
down.
All right.
I mean, if
You're
we
media trained.
if we do want to be a little bit going towards that, it's not like Nigma were in a good position in that Yandex game. It went to 1 hour and 14 minutes, and it had to be a really heavy comeback that relied on multi-hero black holes. The IO is nice,
And
but I
no, sorry.
but I do agree. I think IO is weaker as a support, and I've much preferred Wyvern throughout this tournament. I think in terms of like healing and then just other utility,
+1.
Yeah, Wyvern is fantastic. If I had this trade, I would be happier as Boom Boys.
That's fair enough. The stats are very much there to back you up with that as well. As we are done with our first phase of picks, so there's only 1 ban left for Boom Boys in the second ban phase, and they only get the 1. So maybe here you want to remove 1 strong pairing you don't want to see with that IO, or potentially you want to remove something else from the pool that will counter something you're planning on picking. They'll go for the Necrophos, which is probably both a strong combo with the IO and maybe something they just don't want to face.
Oh my God, Ember is still in the pool.
Yes, he is.
I also feel like Nigma, because they do play the support IO, the combinations you have to think about are the divide pairings. Like, does he want to play an Axe or a Slada, or something to utilize the IO to chase down the lane to apply a lot of pressure to Kiritich, a player that has been having incredible net worth in any game that he plays. So I am looking towards Kiritich to maybe protect him a little bit, just because of the pressure that is inevitable in the laning phase.
I mean, I like the idea here from Boom Boys. Against IO, you don't really want to split up and play the map because he ganks you. So you want to set up in a way where you are strong as 5. So with Willow and Wyvern, you have very, very big team fight. And it's going to mean that most of the time you'll be easily gathering as 5 and you push down towers. And that's the type of game you want to play against IO.
I mean, so if you see Relocate, it's like I put Bramble down, I put Terrorize down, I put Curse. Like, you never want to make any move if you know the supports are there. Yeah, very, very good response to IO.
I mean, usually the counters to Wyvern and Willow are like heroes like the slippery mid heroes, like the Parks. I think you guys mentioned about Ember still in the pool. Yeah, so those heroes are going to be very, very good selection here for Nigma Galaxy against the Wyvern and Willow.
They'll get the combination of the Mirana and the Centaur on their side.
They didn't want to reveal too much because they only see 2 supports. It's very difficult in a draft to then try and pick anything too flashy on
But
mid or
at the
carry.
same time, I think whenever I'm drafting, when my opponents pick 2 supports, I generally feel like the counters to supports are usually the mid heroes. I would want to pick a mid hero that's really good against their heroes.
But you close the phase here, so do you really want to give GPK suddenly draft value, where it's like normally you force GPK to reveal his hero, then you counter it. Like it feels like you're giving a bit too much. So Devi's happy to sacrifice himself in this position.
Yeah, he is the person that is probably the best person to sacrifice among the 3 cores here in Nigma. Like, usually, I would say that their mid pick gets a lot of protection, for Lorenov.
No, for sure.
We get treated to the Miero Axe on the side of Boom Boys.
Yeah, again, the hero kind of speaks for itself. We've been seeing it utilized with Wyvern, with Willow just throughout the entirety of TI. For a curse, you then have the cool to layer up. So not only do you have the curse duration, you then get, cool, it's awful, plus Dark Willow, the laning phase with the Bramble spam, the Shadow Realm spam, the Battle Hunger spam. It's just really, really oppressive. So I kind of like the aggression from Boom Boys. It's kind of like pressure through the lane, through the off lane. Wyvern will protect any carry, and then you'll stabilize the game to have to do what your cores present themselves.
I think it also pushes their tempo slightly faster than Nigma, right? Because I don't remember the last time I saw a Centaur get like a second item blink. It feels like every game they want to buy like a Lotus against your Willow, or they want to buy a Heart to tank up more, or they want to buy the Axe for their ranged core. With Axe, I imagine we'll just see one item into a blink, and then they can start making plays with the Willow, with this invest bomb, and just move a lot faster.
Yeah, Axe is definitely a lot cheaper compared to Centaur. You don't really need to farm as much. You especially enable your supports, so you can run around with them. You have a BKB piercing disable, and you're very strong in the lane. So it puts a lot of pressure onto the opposing team. And I would say that for Nigma, they most of the time would really prioritize Sumail getting a good lane. So I think this Axe Willow, like just picking a strong lane by default, you don't know what hero he's going to play, but just picking a strong lane, so ensuring that he's going to get pressured is a nice way to approach Nigma.
And that's where like the Axe is like, it kind of stops the Clinks pick, the Wind Ranger pick, the Nature's Prophet pick, right? Some of the big ranged heroes that Sumail's been leaning on. And then when you look towards like the melee options, you don't really want to pick them into like the Lifestealer, like he's playing some Sven or whatever. Okay. Lorenov mid Huskar?
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the reasons I was like, oh, they haven't picked Ember still, was because I thought, I wonder if someone wants to Huskar the other team as soon as they take the Ember.
But why do they need to pick it here?
This is where
Nice
they can
matchup,
protect it with 2 bans.
Yeah, but I feel like if they wanted the Huskar, it doesn't really indicate they were going to go for the Huskar with the picks they have. And probably they would be able to get Sumail his hero and still get the Huskar at the end.
Yeah.
But right now,
There's nothing that's exactly. There's nothing screaming Huskar.
right now, you could probably say that the chances of Sumail getting what he wants is significantly lower, because you see the 4 heroes and they kind of tell you that Sumail wants like some kind of like, I would say like melee hero, another frontline hero, and they are going to get banned. 2 of them are going to get banned.
What if this is his IO debut?
Sure.
I don't think we shouldn't count it out.
No, yeah, I'd like to see that option, because again, the Huskar just feels like you're picking it to go to GPK. We don't have enough bans for your heroes because we've looked at other options. Therefore, we're picking this just to shut you down, and we just want to stop your hero pool from excelling, right? So I feel like it's more maybe like a draft pick rather than
But
it's
is there
perfect.
no third hero? Because they are assuming that, okay, we have 2 bans, we can ban 2 heroes that can play against Huskar. So it's probably Sniper and Viper.
Yeah, so,
So they are saying that there's no third hero for GPK.
no, but it's more like they didn't want to think about Pucks and the Storms and the Embers, right? Because like those 3 are very scary in the game. So if you pick a generic Sumo hero here, you ban 2, then they're going to get one of the other big playmakers. Maybe that was the fear.
I guess, but I think there is a third hero. I think Wind Ranger can be a mid hero against Huskar. It'll be
For
okay.
sure.
All this is being talked about right now by Boom Boys. They took so long for their first ban in the series. They go still for the banning out of a Sumail hero in the Alchemist.
The melee hero that would enable the IO here. I don't know if there's Maybe Tiny. Tiny would,
Into the
but it's bad against lifesteal.
yeah, but good into Axe, but bad into Lifestealer. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no one nice pick they can get here.
Do you not think they can just pick some overwhelming physical damage like SF and then just rely on Centaur, Clot, and Io to be able to survive them through the call?
Yeah, they could. They definitely could. But the lineup is very wonky. 'Cause
Yeah,
you have
they're team fight.
you have SF and you have Huskar and Centaur, and it's gonna force the Centaur to buy a very early dagger to play with the team because no one else can.
Do you not just want to not buy a dagger and just like ball up with like your minus or armor auras?
But you gotta be able to kill heroes to progress on the map, and they don't really have a way. If the Centaur doesn't have dagger and you have SF, Huskar, and Centaur, it's very hard for them to get kills on them.
Like smoking, clearing out an area by like walking and pushing them out and then taking like Roshan and then just using the Aegis.
Yeah, it's important to kill heroes because if you don't kill heroes, it means the map will not progress. They're going to be pushing the waves against you and you have to go back to deal with the waves. But if you push the wave and you pick them off, and then that creates opportunities for you to then go for the Roshan or get the objectives. So I would say it's very important to have a very simple way to just kill heroes on the map.
Didn't people used to buy Blink on Huskar?
Yeah, they do.
They do.
I'm looking towards like, I mean, he's not really played it since like 2022, but like a Doom or something like this for Sumo.
So-
Like into the Lifesteal, into the Wyvern, you don't care, but they go for the Wind Ranger. And
Oh,
instant
so
pick,
fast.
Boom Boys don't even care, just locking in the Shadow Fiend.
Is that a mid Shadow Fiend?
Yep,
Yeah.
it is.
Oh,
Taking a step back
guess-
into the past.
I guess Nigma was thinking maybe the wind was also a counter to the Huskar, so they banned the Viper, they banned the Sniper.
Yeah, and they take the Wind
They
Ranger.
banned the wind.
So how does Shadow Fiend versus Huskar do? Because it's
I think
been a long time.
Yeah, I think
Some years,
very
yeah.
well. I think it does really well. You are one of those heroes that can actually play in the lane and can kill him. It's not a common lane, but I do feel like there's a lot of potential here. And you have to, the downside is you have to be careful of getting ganked because SF is very susceptible to ganks in the mid lane.
I'm also pretty, I mean, as much as Shadow Fiend's going to have Raze to clear the waves, there's also a world that Huskar gets good lane position, gets like level 3 Burning Spear, 2 points in Burning Spear, and holds like a decent time when he's like playing around the Raze cooldown. So I think Huskar honestly can also just win the lane if GPK overplays himself or does something weird or there's some gank, but the snap picks at the end, very interesting.
Very volatile lane for sure. This is
Yeah.
going to be a very spicy mid lane here. I expect a lot of kills happening in the lane.
And a lot of people rotating there for mid on the support duo. How mobile in the early stages of the game is an Io?
I think it's reasonably easy, right? Because you can just TP from any position and then your tether just brings you right into it.
Yeah, it just depends on how the lanes go, right? Because if Sumail's under a lot of pressure from the Axe and the Willow,
Yeah.
you can't really allow the Io to make any move. And if Omar's having to pull waves for Devi or something because Lifesteal is chasing him down, then you know everyone's gonna be locked into the side lane battle. Whilst also there's a Huskar Shadow Fiend situation. So yeah, the lanes in this game are going to be incredible. But Boom Boys, when they win games, it's because they are one of the best laning teams in the world. And I feel like they have the type of setup to be really obnoxious to then come and help the Shadow Fiend and amplify him in some way.
Yeah, if you look at the 3 heroes against 3 heroes, Io, Mirana, and Huskar, like how are they going to land the arrow and compare that to the SF, Dark Willow, and Wyvern? That looks a lot more scarier.
It's looking scary, looking entertaining from our perspective, though. I think we're going to have quite the treat here, especially if it's going to be as active as my panel makes it out to be. Back and forth in the early stage of the game. We'll see how that transitions into the mid game and then who comes out on top. But before we see all of that played out, we are going to hear from Kuroki, who's with Slags.
Thank you so much. Yes, we are here with Kuroki. Kuroki, it is such a pleasure to see you guys in this tournament, still kicking so much ass. Are you proud of the boys so far?
Oh yeah, very much so.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about lanes. It seems like that is a big part of this game. We have so many strong heroes, so many strong lanes. Do you think you came out ahead in the matchup?
I mean, we have Huskar mid against SF, so that's spicy.
Spicy? I need more than spicy. Do you guys think that he is going to be able to take it? I mean, that's a dirty Huskar right there, but GPK could screw it up.
I have confidence in Lorna.
All right. Good to hear. Is there any particular player that needs to do well in this game to get you guys a victory, or is this a team effort here?
Well, at this level, everyone just needs to do well.
All right. Did you say anything to the boys before coming here today? You have been under this stress. You have seen this before, and a lot of guys in that booth have, but some of them are new to it. Any famous Kuro speeches?
I mean, mainly to keep their calm.
Keep your calm, carry on. There's no more calmer man than you, my friend. Thank you so much. We hope to have a fantastic match as we throw to our casters.
Thank you so much, Slacks. Indeed, a man of few words, but a lot of ideas.
That's
Kuro, the legend. Inspiring some confidence, which is what you want to have in this like high tense emotional game potentially. We're already potentially going to have a
Trading some blows there already, it would seem. Yes. Yeah, keeping it a little bit low key, you know.
Yeah.
He left it all in the booth right there, okay? He came out very early as well, I'll say. Bulk was still in there. He's talking a lot to the team, pacing back and forth, describing, you know, what was going to happen. Kuro, he just gave them the, all right, guys, relax. I'm heading out there. You guys got this. So he's putting a lot of faith here in this Huskar pickup. And talk about faith, sending GPK on the Shadow Fiend mid versus the Huskar.
That's pretty crazy. Yeah, I mean, everybody has said it's going to be a little bit spicy. It's going to be interesting to watch what happens. We'll see how it plays out, but this is definitely going to be one of the lanes to watch, the main one, I would say. A little bit of a missed raise there, but it's important too, right, to sort of reiterate, this is what these teams have been working for this entire year. Both of these squads have been hungry for a victory. Boom Boys have been here so many times. Top 4 was their ceiling last year, trying to push it further forward. And I mean, for Nigma Galaxy, it's been years in the making for this squad.
Yeah, we live our lives by TI in Dota. That's how it goes. You base your whole roster, your seasons, your identity of how you perform there. And last year, both of these teams were in this situation. They're coming in to this point in the lower bracket. Boom Boys, they got the win last year. Nigma, they did not. They weren't able to progress any further than top 6. So, yeah, that is the question. Who has got it here today? A very late night, it's worth noting, for Nigma Galaxy as well. I think that, coming into the series, you're sure you're feeling that on their side. Unfortunate way to go out. Like, despite losing that series, they did have some incredible plays, which certainly showed their potential. So I hope that they bring that in here today.
Absolutely, yeah. I'll be completely honest, I fell asleep after game 1 since we were ready for the earlier games of the day, but we did get to see some of that earlier on as well. And an amazing game number 1 it was indeed. Cold Embrace now onto Kiritich. Devi trying to stay aggressive onto the life stealer. They bite off more Nikachu. No. Devi draws first blood.
It's a very favorable trade there for Devi. You really don't want to go down on that one. And end up handing that over to the life stealer. I mean, Kataomi, he is the Wyvern OG. You're seeing lots of teams just last series. First overall pick with this Wyvern. People are really seeing the value that it has here, particularly in that laning stage. And of course, whenever you're considering up against these IOs. Even more so in this matchup, since Nigma are one of the few teams that play at support. But you saw why last night. GH, incredible relocate plays to give them opportunities in those team fights that just should not have been.
No, absolutely. And, GH, you go back to, like, their original Liquid days when he was playing and he first came onto the scene. It was GH IO, GH Coddle, these types of heroes that were difference makers. And he came in and won his first tournament off the back of them. It was Star Ladder Series 3, if I remember correctly, way back in the Elden days. Devi, though, gonna get chased down, goes for the double edge. It's gonna bring Kiritich low. Omar trying to clean it up, but that Cold Embrace, pesky. Does Omar have enough damage to kill him on the end of it? Doesn't quite. Well, he's going for it. A leap. He's healing, but it's not going to be enough to get Kiritich away alive. And, well, now Omar tries to ring around the rosy. Not going to happen. Katomi cleans up.
Needed another moment there. Got some regen delivered by the courier, but it wasn't going to be enough. So he'll go down, take the return of his health and mana with that death. He'll be all right with it. And, lots of action on these side lanes. In terms of the mid, what has been happening? GPK bullying a bit here with these raises. Obviously, you guys have seen plenty of matches where this Huskar bullies the enemy mid just out of the lane. They have to retreat back to the jungle. Shadowfiend has quite a bit of tools to deal with the wave, of course, with the raises. And if you're not careful, you might get caught inside of them as well.
Yeah, it's one of those lanes where Lorenov has to pick his moment very carefully, right? If he goes all in, it has to be a kill because there's no running from SF. Especially if you use like the middle raise and then have that third one queued up.
Meanwhile, in the top lane, we have Nero just farming the polywalks. He's in, grabbing the bounty runes, waiting for the waves. He has kind of just quit on the lane at this point. The IO, and maybe just too much sustain and regen, and couldn't find anything beneficial. TP's back home.
Yeah, that is not what you want to see. Axe still, a lot of CS, at the very least, this wave is pushing in a bit.
Yeah, those are neutrals, though. He's relatively low.
Yeah.
I mean, not too. I mean, he's the same as the Sentinel.
Yeah, Devi also having to TP out after the pressure was on him, but now nowhere to go as they bring in a third hero. It seems that Boom Boys also recognize Devi as the game changer for this squad, but barely getting away from him there. Do they have anything else to finish him off? They're trying to dive underneath the tower, but they won't quite get the kill on the Centaur.
Yeah, it's almost as bad as the death, to be honest, though.
You're not wrong.
Like, what is there to do? He kind of just has to run home anyway. How did that? Oh, okay. I thought that was small for a second. He's got to just run back to this camp, farm it up a little bit, and then retreat back home anyway. So Omar takes the opportunity to get some wards down. He's going to TP up top now. So trying to mirror some of this pressure that came up from the Willow. GH is farming a hard camp stack right now. They surround him.
Yep, they find him, and that axe, nowhere to go now, does manage to at least clean up the creeps before he goes down dead to GH.
Right, so interesting dynamics here. We have a Huskar rotating for a kill because he's losing his mid lane.
Yeah.
Not what you tend to see. GBK standing tall with this catapult. The Mirana's not here to arrow it. Omar's getting in here now. Will they tank the arrow? Yeah, you can see. Saves positioning. He knows. Right. He's watching out for it. They get the next wave in.
Goes into the root. The heal is there, though, from GH. And off, able to back away. Omar, now the hit. The good shackle latch and the kill onto Katomi. Omar does not have that much left in the tank, though. The double raise does some damage as Sumail makes that movement in. They're going to stop any extra aggression. GH retreating back with Sumail.
The Shadow Fiend, really bit of a wonder pick here. Like the way they set it up on the side of Nigma, you saw it with the bands of the Viper, the Sniper, and then into the pick of the Wind Ranger. I feel like they kind of had it all figured out, but this SF was a great call.
And Devi continues to be hounded on this bottom lane. Kiritan, the slow coming from the Wyvern, and the Life Stealer manages to find that kill. This is right about that 7-minute mark, too. So we'll see if Boom Boys decide to contest for the Wisdom Shrine, or if they're going to leave that one and just focus on the farm. Arrow also trying to play a little bit of catch-up on this axe after getting killed with the Huskar rotation.
That could have been an opportunity, but they were even ready to cover it. Omar did TP over to the Wisdom just in case, knowing that Centaur would not be there in time, or else he'd have to waste his TP. Make sure it's there. Katomi did not try and sneak it. And you were likely to see some stacks beginning to form here for both teams, I would think.
Definitely. Way that you can play catch-up for these off-laners. And, you know, I think another thing to sort of mention with these two teams in terms of their road to this point in time, Boom Boys were basically invited to a lot of different events this year. They only had to play in 3 qualifiers. On the other side, Nigma Galaxy, they played in 10 different qualifiers to be able to make it here in this point in time, and have really been tested over and over again. We'll see how that type of resiliency is going to be able to make them push forward in this tournament. But, you know, very different paths, even though there were similar results last year in terms of the international.
Yeah, and they were playing in like the hardest qualifier. They had to go to Europe and play in them, so Hero now rotation in from Lorinov.
Shackle latches, good damage out from the power shot, and another kill for the Huskar.
Desperately needed. He is catching back up to GPK. You know, not typically the way you see a Huskar recover, but he is finding it with these kills. GPK, he's rotating back. He's under this ward that was placed from Omar earlier, but at what point will you actually be able to utilize this vision?
Right, found again. Pump fakes the hook stomp, trying to keep himself alive. Will back away some more, and they decide not to chase any further. But I mean, it's just been so much damage, relentless onto Devi, trying to shut him down. I mean, thankfully, at least for the side of Nigma, they've been able to keep the axe pretty much as hampered.
Look at the scan, though. Seeing if anyone else is nearby trying to help him, they just bring in GPK.
Omar immediately leaps out, realizing this is not going to be good. Boom Boys, they bring numbers, trying to take this early tier 1 tower and continue to just pull the Centaur around the map.
What a weakness they found, right? Centaur's very close to 6. He's at 5.5. GH had no health or mana on this IO right now, as he was kind of moving through the jungle, so he can't do any sort of a play down here. So even though Omar was down here trying to like dissuade them from making this push, they kind of get this tower for free.
Save, hunting Omar. Did have a ward down to spot that movement, and going to be able to find a pickoff onto that courier. Save. Hit by GH, who has been quietly having a pretty good game with some solid rotations.
Martin's sort of finding something on the Mirana here by stealing XP away from GPK and just stalking him through the jungle. This is the best he can do right now. Friends are coming in, though. They're going to try and set this up. Will this ward finally pay off?
Oh, understanding what was going on.
There's a sentry down bottom that sees Devi as well.
Yeah, and that might be the difference.
Yeah, off sentry combo gave away the Moonlight Shadow. Now they instantly turn on Devi. He's forced to TP. My guy is still level 5 Lyrical.
That feels really bad. I mean, so this is going to be the nice counter move that you can make, though, at least for Nigma Galaxy. We'll see if Boom Boys leave them to it, but the pressure is now coming in onto this tier 1 tower in mid.
Yeah, the Willow being dead definitely hurts. No threat of just the opener Bramble. They hit an arrow in the back of the GPK plus a blood grenade, but no one's willing to make the dive with them. Omar kind of had something there. Lorenov's just laser focused on this tower.
Well, and that is going to be a TP away, but yeah, Lorenov gets good damage. They rotate in save, and that stops the pressure onto the tower. Did force some rotations at the very least, and you get out alive on the Mirana.
Oh man, their life stealer is set to have just an absolute banger of a game right now. Like, that tower is gone, the Centaur is very weak, the ability to rotate in, it's pretty low right now. So the Moonlight Shadow plays, the relocates later on, that's what they're gonna have to look for, but they just have so much catching up to do first. And that's what GH is trying to set up here with these stacks in the jungle.
Definitely a game where he is happy with how it's been going on. The difference maker is probably going to have to be Sumail to try and really mess with them. Huskar, not necessarily known as being the best against the Lifestealer.
Yeah, we get the Specialist Array coming out here already for the Wind Ranger. A little faster than usual. Tends to be an item that is currently usually just bought to head into the Hydra's Breath on the Wind Ranger, so that's why you're seeing that time being so much faster. The only hero that often gets a position 1, I'd say, is Avenge. It works a little better with that hero because of all her quirks and whatnot. So Sumail going for something a little more middling here. Yeah, and how it goes for him compared to the Maelstrom.
A little bit of calmness before what we're anticipating to be a storm of action once these items come online. A Blade Mail done for Axe. Omar finds the arrow onto save, does go into the Shadow Realm, and that stops Renoff from getting anywhere close to finding a life break. Again, managing to escape from that one.
Very difficult game to be a Huskar behind, though, just because you are playing into this Axe. Yeah, you know, you're not this bully, so you're worried about coming into these fights in the mid game, and you're going to be around the same net worth, which means like he has the Blade Mail. He's going to be probably into the blink by the time that you and the team are really trying to pressure forwards.
And there is, to be fair, a lot of good save potential. You know, the panel talked about it. Late game, you've got the Centaur, Aghanim Scepter. Io, obviously, very good at, you know, being able to jump in there and keep somebody alive. But the window that you have to make a mistake is so much smaller against an Axe when you've got that Culling Blade at the ready.
Yeah, GH, I mean, if I'm going to put my faith in anyone to save me so far in this tournament, it's GH. So him on an Io with a mech, that's definitely a massive boost of health that is available.
Towards that one right now. It's not been able to complete it yet. You can see pretty steady stuff. You know, it's interesting also, seeing the Huskar for Devi right now, it reminds me, one of the games that stands out to me most in terms of how he played is like a couple of years ago, he was a Centaur over near the tier 1 tower mid, and he just like blind blinked up a hill, couldn't see anybody, and found like 2 to 3 heroes with it right up there on this hill.
Yeah.
It was a big jump, and it just was emblematic of how he plays these games around these blink heroes.
Yeah, so he's going to need some of that energy here for sure. Like, he definitely showcased that last night. The patience that he has, you know, that's kind of maybe the difference of who we have now. He tends to be a little more patient, right? Back then, he was very hot-headed, both on and off the keyboard.
Right.
Now he's chilled out. He's finding these more intentional maneuvers or waiting very, very late in the engagement with his BKB. That's what he showcased last night. So we'll see which divide do they need right now. Might be a little bit of a hothead.
Well, right now, it is Nigma going in under the Moonlight Shadow, and we'll just go for the D ward.
Yeah, hard to make anything too aggressive from out here without Sumail really leading first, honestly. You kind of need some sort of a shackle play set up into an arrow. Sumail's going to TP down bottom with the Invis Rune and grab the Wisdom, and his friend is being chased right now. I thought maybe they were going to try and rotate onto the Lifestealer, because they would have the damage. But it's certainly not easy. And again, that Ob Sentry combo, the same one that spotted the earlier Moonlight Shadow attempt, now catches Sumail moving in here. And there's no creep wave, so he has no idea.
little bit of counterplay potential. They don't know exactly where he is, but
Yeah, he figured it out.
seeing all these people come down, realizes the danger. And Blink Check just has it done now on Divide. He's playing close to GH, so if there is a battle that could start popping off, there's a chance there for a relocate.
Mark being bullied a little bit here by save.
The damage.
Was at the longest arrow.
The tower goes down to Divide and his troll, and they still have that Blink coming in behind Sumail.
Yep, Nero not close to his yet on the axe. It's about 250 gold to go, so this is a good window for Nigma Galaxy to try and find something.
Nero gonna head into the jungle, try and go farm, realize that Divide's there, and well, take the Ancients at the very least. But
Yeah, I like this. Divide using the Helm Creep just to push in with the rallies, right?
Yeah.
Bullying down the tier 1 tower. Best thing that you can gain right now. Mechanism getting closer as well for GH. Would love to have that up again for that first fight into the Axe Blink Dagger. He dunks the creep.
does put it on a cooldown, but you know, you get the charge. It's all good. Worth noting also, the Shadow Fiend in this game going in for the Kaya build. So we've got a magic Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, we'll get there, Yashikai. I'm sure we'll get this like middling build that kind of goes both ways, you know. Can do a Hurricane Pike after, perhaps. Pretty decent game for it. I mean, he has this life stealer to back him up with some pretty heavy damage.
I gotta say, Boom Boys are one of the best teams in the world at like picking exactly which fight they want and then just not giving it to Nigma. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They're out there, they're
Yep,
like, well, this is our time to fight. We got the Blink Dagger ready to go. They go entirely into the Ancients, and Boom Boys still manage to farm up the Ancient camp with Miero while not taking a fight.
They're very good at playing a static game.
Yes.
That has been a Boom Boy staple for quite a while.
Nigma gonna try and create some chaos. They can punish.
I like the low stakes push though, right? Like the catapult, the helm creep, they're lurking around it here, trying to just find that first shackle. It's what they need for the arrow, you know?
They're just not giving it to him. Look at Miero. How patient is Miero in this game?
Look at this. TP's down bottom.
Yeah.
They instantly TP Centaur, Huskar, Mirana down bottom when they see the Lifestealer this close. Forward vision, they don't have any.
They want this fight. Oh, see, that's the blind blink. Divide having an inkling he could be in that area, but not able to catch that time.
That's a heavy rotation from Nigma. I mean, there's obviously some camps to farm here. It's not the worst thing in the world, but you got to imagine that's a net positive interaction here for the Boom Boys. That Radiance into Armlet nearly done. Kiritich is just hitting all the timings he wanted in the Lifestealer. That's it. Snail's not far behind. You know, he's got his Specialist Array. He's got the IO to help out. He's finished the Hydra's Breath. So this is the benefit, right? You go Maelstrom. You don't really feel like you're going to get much out of the Mjolnir perhaps in those first engagements, but Hydra's Breath into the Axe, into the Lifestealer. It's going to have value all game. I like this idea from him.
Now, keep in mind, they have that relocate. So Boom Boys deciding now is the time to fight. And it's Nigma that are backing away, not presenting a target as of yet. They are all the way back behind their tier 2 towers.
One thing they've done very well, though, is that they have this consistent lockdown through the Stampede. Like, Stampede save isn't really going to help you. The best thing is that it might give the IO the positioning for a relocate save.
Yeah. I mean, these teams, this is an elimination match. You can feel it in the air a little bit.
Oh, yeah. They're hesitating more in maneuvers. They're definitely playing safer moves as well. I'd say the drafts also are... They have a few more outs in their draft where, like, the game doesn't end necessarily just because you didn't stomp your lane as Husker. I don't think it's that kind of a game for Nigma Galaxy at all. And same thing for the Boom Boys as well. Like, there's definitely some mid-game, some late-game. There's a little bit of team fight on both sides, a little bit of pick-off. These are the kind of drafts that are ready to head into the late game. So, buckle in, folks. I mean, you guys have seen this event. You know how the games have been going. We're heading later and later every single day. Every single day that goes late, I think, well, surely the next day can go later. And I think that again today. We've had a 2-0, so if anything's going to curse us into an even longer day, or bless us, let's be honest.
That's true enough.
Kadomi?
They find him over in the river, and the shackle is there. So the first kill in a very long time goes to Sumail, 4-7. And I think, again, if you're Boom Boys, they seem to be very, very confident going into the late game, not needing to do anything. And I think it's just a matter of like not wanting to sort of give up a stupid mistake.
Yep.
Because that's the type of thing that could really catapult you into making more of them as the game goes later too. So BKB for Miero, easy as can be. And also they get a Yule Scepter done on Mirana. That is super nice.
Such a useful item on Mirana. Like, especially in a game where you don't have the best setups, like no like really cheap initiations to set up for an arrow. You can go for the Yules for yourself, but also versus the axe.
Yes.
Very good tool to have. Try and bail some of your teammates out of a really good call, especially if you get a preemptive cast on him. It can just absolutely devastate a team fight. Many good reasons to opt for. Here's Omar. You see Omar, he's moonlight shadowing and he's walking in between. He's playing the Vanguard right now where he's just saying, okay, if they are smoking at my Huskar, I will die, or maybe I'll even get out. As we saw in the previous series, the Miranas were, Tofu particularly helped tank a lot of smokes and still managed to escape while protecting his cores. That is the hope for Omar. He can also pick up a bit of farm. I would guess with how this game is trending that he's going to be looking for an Agnes Scepter next.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing is that he might even be thinking to the next one after that, getting a Wind Waker.
He instantly just queued it up, by the way. Like,
he's ready.
Because, like, the way the saves are going to work is the Cold Embrace coming out, right? And if you have that Aghanim Scepter on the Mirana, it's a ton of damage. It is a good way to cut through that save.
You know, I also feel like the BKBs coming out from Boom Boys is going to be another one of these windows that hurts real bad. You know, you've got the Blink Requiem coming out at the moment, no way to save against that for Nigma Galaxy.
Yeah.
And so any type of like axe call into Requiem.
I mean, it's relocate, I guess we could say, right?
I guess
there is
true.
that save, but that's a tough one. That relocate save is more of the level 25 cast delay save, you know? Gotta be, I mean, it's GH. He is very fast. I'll give him that.
And he's getting a BKB immediately too. So he's understanding the danger there. And he's getting the shrine. Yeah, give me the 25.
That's kind of scary though, right? Like you got so much BKB dependency between your Wind Ranger, your Io, and your Huskar into an Axe and a Winter Wyvern.
You're not wrong. It definitely makes a difference.
Yeah, I mean, that I think in terms of what has changed the most in Dota in the last couple of years, and I'm sure many of you have noticed it, it comes down to your BKB usage in the late game. Because we can't refresh it anymore, it is just so crucial to force out BKBs now. It's how the whole fight revolves. Yeah. It's like, oh, he BKB'd early. Now, you know, we cut our fight for 5 or 6 seconds, and then we go back in.
Well, I think a lot of that is because we're not seeing those like initial big blow-ups of killing just one hero in a stun.
Yep.
I think Boom Boy's lineup has the potential to kill people in just a stun. And that might be something to watch for.
Yeah.
They jump, meanwhile, up on the top side of the map and find Miero. So Devi able to get a Blink Hoof Stomp for the kill. Did get the Tormentor, save getting the shard for himself, and now into the pit they will go.
All right, so trading some objectives here. Not the best way to start a game for an Axe. Obviously, he has some utility for the entire match because of his Color Glade versus the Huskar, but this is an Axe who's now 0-3-0 and has not found an aggressive maneuver with his Blink Dagger yet at 23 minutes.
Not, like you said, what you want to see, but also not altogether unexpected, given how we've kind of seen these teams play in these elimination matchups. I mean, we saw it even just a second ago, you know? Yeah. Miero, he sees the Centaur on the lane, thinks about going forward, is like, oh, there's no way he would be there alone, which he's correct about, and then backs away and ends up being picked off.
Yep. Oh, well, big Centaur doing it again. Heart is done for Devi. It is into a Lifestealer, of course, so that hurts a little bit. A Lifestealer who, by the way, is nearly done an Aghanim Scepter. So getting it a little bit on the earlier end, right? But it kind of is another save in a lot of ways, right? This ability to jump inside of the enemy just opens up so many more possibilities for surviving longer in these engagements as the Lifestealer.
Right. I mean, another Aghanims we might end up seeing late game would be the Huskars as well. Always super nice to get if you can get that taunt off.
Mm-hmm.
But at 24 minutes, a bit of a slow one, only 12 kills so far. And not what we were anticipating when we saw the SF versus Huskar mid matchup. Devi ran off, finding save. Now he gets the silence. Devi has the hoof stomp, cancels that TP away. And the second Centaur too, his little friend is there to help.
outside of the arrow combos, there's your Moonlight Shadow. There's your Mirana value that you're finding in these drafts. Difficult support to kill. Hero that just gives you constant pressure on the map because they have to be worried about these invading forces just constantly coming through. You spend more detection on these Ob Sentry combos, trying to keep an idea of what parts of your map are safe or not. That pressure eventually gets a catch onto save. Hero unafraid. He's willing to show himself in the mid lane after that death, though. And now closing in on his own BKB for this Axe.
We did see that, Wind Ranger and Lifestealer right next to each other underneath an aggressive ward. And that ward feeling more like it's just telling where Boom Boys are safe to farm as opposed to where to go for a fight. Because they are not interested in fighting at all.
No.
They are mode chill.
Yeah, I'd say that kind of goes for both teams here. Like, there's been so much discussion this whole TI about this ability to, like, get deep vision down and watch courier wards and keep an idea of where people are going so we can go for these invading plays. And, well, this is, that lines up.
Yep.
Back to 50-50.
I mean, they're making a move now, though. Boom Boys, they see the Wind Ranger.
Use that ward, but, I mean, you know where she's going to go, right? From those two camps.
They have...
Omar messed this up for them, though.
He comes over and does. He interrupts. That might have kept Sumail alive. It is going to be Omar trying to make the leap play away. Doesn't have any more leaps, though. And will be killed. So they lose one, but it's not the one that Boom Boys wanted to find.
Nothing of value to gain right there.
Whoa! Davai?
Get him!
TP out, the arrow. Oh, he catches him. That's the call. And another brought down. Boom Boys.
That was quick. They immediately knew they could catch him when they saw that vision.
Yes.
Davai kind of gifting one away here.
Trying to cut the wave. Still very, very even GH farming. This boys sticking together.
Will they get this top tier 1 Lyrical? At 26 minutes.
It looks like it's going to happen.
It is going down.
Yeah, this is very much just wanting to make sure they get their items, play safe Dota.
Been such the antithesis of so many of our matches here at TI. Even when it gets into a stalled out period, it's usually like after so many more objectives being taken.
A lot of heroes on the map right now, grouping up together.
They're baiting Kiritich.
They're trying to bait him, jump forward, find it immediately, run off in some trouble. GH, that's already one life dead. Now they do have the Centaur who's coming to join them.
He's looking for a Blink Infest.
Okay. Has the Requiem ready, but not gonna let it fly. So there's only a minute left on the Aegis, so the kill that happens doesn't even end up really mattering there.
We're not putting that one on the board, folks. Sorry. Still 6-9.
Can they get anybody here? Do they want to? It's again under a ward, so they find him.
What a rage.
He gets out.
He's so ready.
Very, very clean stuff. Save, trying to escape. Miero also. They managed to catch, and now Miero gonna blink away. The rest of Nigma is focused on save at the moment. And he manages to get out on the Axe. One more kill gained as GH says, fine, I'll farm.
Yes.
I'll get the Axe.
Make me do it? I guess I just have to, huh? Come the core myself, says GH. Sees the way this game is going. Honestly, there's not much you can get that's going to be better. I mean, you could go Locket, I guess would be the argument, right? You could go like into the Locket now instead. If he felt like we really need to win some pivotal fights over the next 10, 15 minutes.
Star? Or by Shadow Fiend. I thought he might go Star, but no. Too crazy, has the BKB.
But instead, GH says, hey, this game is trending late, and I want to be there. I want to be like one of the strongest heroes in this game. So I'm going to get this Active Scepter.
And I mean, to be honest, if he could get to 25, he's at 15 right now.
Yep.
It's not often that we talk about support level 25s, but with Wind Ranger, there could be some magic there.
It's Nigma versus the Boom Boys. We can talk about 25 and tier 5s, I think.
You said, buckle in.
Yep.
It's going to be a good one. Omar cuts out some of those creeps. I mean, they were here only, what, like 10 hours ago or something like that, playing up on the main stage. I'm not sure how much sleep they were able to get.
I think they just tucked in under the stage, actually. I
Yeah,
saw
a little bit.
tent set up down there, some sleeping bags. They roasted some marshmallows, and they just hopped right back in the booth.
Not a bad way to live. Arrow has the shield room. Gonna take out that camp. Splitting the sides of the map. So here's the other thing that's funny about this, right? This is a game where it's like, our late game is the best, we just need to farm.
Yep.
Other team is like, our late game is the best, we just need to farm. Somebody's wrong. somebody is going to look a little silly.
That's the beauty of Dota. But
Exactly.
the thing is, you're not necessarily right or wrong. Sometimes it's just who plays better, too.
That's fair.
That is an important thing. It's not purely draft.
As they find that stun, save the sacrificial lamb left behind. And sometimes that difference of, who's playing better comes down to an individual call, an individual decision of where they run on the map. And that's what's so tense about it, is that, like, it could take just a second of, misplaced thoughts or distraction, and suddenly you're out. An entire year could just be wasted like that from how it feels to be a player.
Yeah, exactly. There is a journey. There is growth. There's good things that happen, but that's not how you feel up here on the stage. Right? The second that throne falls and it's not in your favor, it just all comes crashing down. Okay, hoping to avoid that here. As I love this idea. Just get a little more defensive on the hero. Make sure that he's kind of a little aggressive, a little defensive, picking up this Lincoln Sphere. Wants to utilize a lot of his magic damage, and in order to do that, he needs to be free.
An MKB done for Lifestealer. Have they farmed enough? Find out soon, as he's going into the Abyssal Blade next.
It's kind of crazy that you can go into the Aghanim Scepter, never even fight, and still stay ahead of this win range. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't get anything to improve his farming capabilities, but neither did Sumail, because they're both gearing up for potential fights that just haven't been occurring. This is a big part of the game, because the Boom Boys have moved into Nigma's territory. They have planted a ward, and we are setting the seeds that we will water and grow into the potential for a fight.
A chance, a hope, a dream. That ward, will they deward it? That's the other question.
That's really where we're at in this mid game for sure.
I mean, there have been, I think, 2 kills in like 15 minutes, somewhere in that neighborhood, and they were both saved.
I just say, time flies when you're having fun, Lyrical.
That's true.
It doesn't feel that way.
Or saved.
I really do feel the tension that is happening here.
Yeah.
After a long journey of no structures really falling, objectives not being taken, they kind of quickly take a couple towers here. Sumail gets one, Kirtich gets the other. We're willing to expand the map a little bit more on either side, but the map side that they've taken on the Boom Boys, it has a Roche right now. They are in the pit. And vision-wise, for Nigma Galaxy, they've got pretty good read. They're pushing in on the bottom. Like, look at this giant wave hitting the tier 2 bottom.
Yeah.
So they know.
Yes. That's going to get some good damage onto that tower and take it low.
I think in a while, the arrow's going to come in, but it's going to be too late by the looks of it here. It does stun Kirtich.
Pretty annoying, but with Roche so low, they're not going to be able to do anything but just sort of look as he takes the Aegis. And so with less than 1,000 gold just about separating these two squads, it's Daedalus next. Katomi infested. Now he, decides, sorry, go.
Sorry, misclick.
My
Sorry,
bad.
miss, yeah.
Trying to pass you something. I was trying to, what was he trying to pass the banner?
Moonlight Shadow. They're ready for an instant smoke maybe coming in from the Boom Boys because the way they backed out of that pit and the vision that they still have considering their waves, like no one has come bottom yet, right? So as Nigma,
yeah, they saw Shadow Fiend on the top lane, so they felt like they could make this move. Divide pops BKB. We're not thinking about chasing. GPK is still moving over, but it's slow. And it looks like he's going to go back to farming while Kirtich pressures this mid-tier 2 tower.
And they still have that key ward above them right now, so it's giving them some extra confidence here. It lets Save position more boldly here. Now, we've got GBK running his way back to make sure he can join with the team. What are they doing in response, though? We got Sumail down here, farming his way down. Again, they still never pushed out this bottom wave, so the tower took a lot of damage. They want to maybe push this in a little further, but you're going to lose your tier 2. You're not fighting that. You're going to come down and probably sweep through and clear out, push out bottom. There's a Tormentor, but Nigma don't feel confident enough to go for it.
No, and this just feels like it's Boom Boys getting the 2 tier 2 towers. This is the benefit you get from...
Oh, look at this up top. Yeah, dragging it into the Mirana. Doesn't have the Aghanims quite yet. It's very close. Could really use it right now.
Yep, not gonna
that's
happen.
A big wave.
Omar finds the root,
buddy.
and just like that, needs to leave. Doesn't have another one, Yule Scepter, and you thought about it. GPK decides not to.
They're not throwing the Requiem on that one there. And the wave survives. Well, thank you for this absolutely gargantuan wave you've given to us, Divide.
TP away. Just back inside the base, waiting for Sumail to come in and help him. He can tether out afterwards.
Kind of funny he used the relocate over the TP itself.
Yeah, he
I guess
totally
the Basher. The Basher's swapping around, so that's I guess.
And there it is. Arrow tries to go for the call, not going to land. Heritage, good damage, save. Thought about the jump to Vi, finds GPK. Great reaction with that BKB, and now the Stampede out. Did not get the Requiem out of it.
Used a lot now.
Oh, and Heritage does manage to kill him. So Heritage goes, but there is going to be the Winter's Curse. And now the call comes in from the axe with the Lincoln Spear. Blocks it, doesn't matter. Gets that finish. Divide buys back, wants to find a stomp, misses it on a GPK. The shackle, oh, it's not good enough. Boom Boys, they find their targets, and now a Yule Scepter looking for the stun. Jump forward, and Heritage keeps them alive.
Infest inside, nicely done. They're gonna back it up here. They got a buyback on Divide. They use their BKB on the Shadow Fiend, but they're still holding this Aegis. Maybe considering poking around a little bit here when there's no Huskar out.
Showing the power of this Lightstealer.
Right, banner is down.
I mean, they really do not have answers for this at all. Power shot goes out, and right now, Boom Boys seem to be the ones that are
Sumail, though,
movements.
he's got this damage. He's got the Hydra's Breath. We saw what Watson did, right? You know, this Focus Fire damage is unreal.
He's doing it. Little bits, tickling Heritage. Cold Embrace, and then the Force Staff.
They're worried about a potential arrow maybe coming in, but there's no cooldown right now.
They get the call, find him down low, almost dead, but the heal and save is there. They keep him alive. Focus Fire still on Heritage a bit. The shackle didn't quite latch, and now he's back inside of a creep.
Look at he's just running at him.
Back alive and healing up again. GH somehow gets caught all the way to the side there and is going to be brought down. He does have buyback. The Huskar returns to the game. They do have another minute left on this Aegis for Boom Boys.
He wants to take a few licks to this tower.
I mean, this is just really clean play coming out from Boom Boys.
This Lincoln Sphere from GBK passing it over to Heritage. I love this style.
Devi looking for a stomp. It's going to be really hard to find one. Heritage has been on point.
He's not even willing to give up the Aegis. He just wants to infest and keep it going here. Good healing back up.
Dodging the silence that came out. The shackle does latch.
Where's Devi?
Save. Stomp. Then the stomp lands on a Heritage. The silence is there. This is the turnaround that they needed. 30 seconds left on the Aegis. He's going to come back at full HP.
And they find a shackle.
Thinking about it. Opportunity to latch, to turn, to hit. Good damage there. The stomp on the backlines. Nero, he jumps away for a second, but the heal is there. It's not enough. And GPK finally popping that BKB. They do kill Nero. Now Sumail infested, backing out, has another focus fire. But as he comes out and gets stunned, Sumail's trying to retreat. It's not going to happen. They take down Sumail, relocate out, and GPK, he's just waiting. Is the timing right? They come in with the Vi, find the stomp, but as the only core left alive, they find a good arrow. Cold Embrace, not gonna matter. Heritage, too strong.
It won't be denied. This is the most electric Lightstealer we have seen, Lyrical.
Ultra kill, keep going for more. Heritage has played this immaculately.
The 20-second cooldown on the infest, he is abusing it unbelievably well.
And Omar, nowhere really left to go. Can't even come back into his dang base.
Just gonna leave him.
Why not?
Get back in there. Get the structures.
DBK takes it down. It's still so long before they're going to be back up. And at 37 minutes, with very little done for a long window, Boom Boys finally got their items, feel comfortable trying to end this game out as Heritage hits onto the Tier 4 towers. Yeah, we've moved a while from 50-50.
Yeah, we are further along than that. Feeling a little confident here. Still wants to knock some Tier 4s right now.
They're going to take down that first Tier 4 tower. Maybe one last gasp from Nigma. They have 8 seconds left until the Wind Ranger's up. Trying to find an arrow. Trying to find anything.
I feel like GPK's begging him. He's like, do we need this?
I mean, we have barely even seen a Requiem this game. There's been no fights. They're just taking it.
Like, I want to have some fun here, man. Like, wait for the team. Like, let's have a nice big pull all our spells out.
They've thought about it. The infest is there, but they keep hitting the buildings. And now jump in, find that call, connects. Lorenov tries to go into Heritage, but eyes on the prize. They're turning onto the Ancient, and Boom Boys take game number 1. Just a complete dominance once they got their items. It was not close.
The way they played this high ground is something that we have not seen so far this tournament as well. Like, this has been the real struggle, is that even when you garner this big lead, which obviously wasn't even that large this game, but even like this really strong idea of having the Aegis and trying to push forward. I really think that Lincoln Sphere did so much work with how they could position Kiritich, and then just his own individual play with the Infest was unbelievable.
It was a very good recognition of the limitations of the draft. What was the BKB piercing disable? What was the way to deal with the lifestealer? Uncontested, and Boom Boys go up 1 game in this series over Nigma Galaxy.
I know that Kuroki, when we heard him talk about the draft after he came out of the booths, he said he told the boys, stay calm. I don't think he meant this calm. I don't think he meant that, because I feel like Tikov, we didn't see them do much. I'm trying to phrase it really nicely, okay?
That was the weirdest game of Dota I've seen at the international, all the internationals that I've been to, because I basically watched one team farm and just slowly walk to the enemy base, and then the other team kind of go, we want to try and kill you, oh, we can't, and then run away, and then suddenly the Ancient's dead, we're going to game 2. This was just not the game from Nigma Galaxy.
This was a massive outdraft, I think. Just based on the draft, they can't really do anything. Like, I don't even feel like they played badly. Like, if I look at the game, it's hard to point out any mistakes the player made that kind of caused the game to be this hard for Nigma Galaxy.
Yeah, I just felt like passive into death. And they had a switch up on the Centaur Iron build, right? Like we talked on the panel about the typical build is to go a lot of things before the Blink. He went Blink after Helm. And it wasn't enough for them to ever catch anyone on the map.
Yeah, I mean, like, when you think about the lanes, you had Axe getting shut down through Huskar rotations, you had the Centaur getting shut down because of just natural lifestealer shenanigans. I think both of them caught up quite nicely. Like, everything felt like it should be going okay, but the Shadow Fiend and lifestealer is having complete free farm. It just went when Nigma wanted to go make a move, in the back of their minds, like, is this going to be successful? Will we go even? If it was even or lost, they didn't even try making it, and I feel like the reason why Nigma are in this position is not because of this type of draft. They're not picking Huskar to prevent GPK's hero pool. They're not banning 2 heroes, picking Wind Ranger to protect a Huskar. Like, you've invested so much stock into a Huskar, and then you haven't played your draft to move forwards across the map, to cross the river with conviction, to take down all these towers. Like, but if you look at the minimap state, like, obviously not at this clip, but there's still like towers alive early in the game when they should have probably been taken if you are playing a Huskar type lineup.
Yeah, this was why I was so critical at the junction when Boom Boys, they showed the Wyvern and the Willow, and then on the Nigma side they picked the Io, Mirana, and Centaur. I was really critical there because I felt like the Centaur was a bad pick. You pick the Centaur, they exposed the offlaner, he got countered right away with the Lifestealer, and the draft just became really difficult, and a lot of the bans were used to remove the mid heroes, and Loranov, maybe he felt like, I guess there's nothing else other than Huskar, then he just couldn't really find another hero. That's why it was really critical to actually pick the mid hero, in my opinion, there. They had some options, pick a mid hero to counter the supports and then protect the off lane hero there.
Couldn't they just pick the Wind instead of the Huskar? And then you have 2 bans, you pick a mid laner, you just play like a normal game?
They definitely could, but maybe they were worried because they had 2 supports, and if you pick 2 supports and win, you cannot change the Wind. The Wind cannot be moved around. Maybe
you also can't change the Huskar.
The Ember was literally right there unbanned. They could have just picked that and been way more stable.
But I think he also mentioned probably they were worried that GPK would Huskar their Ember, so they were like.
But they had Ember on. They had last pick of the second phase. So where they put the Huskar, they could have done Ember and then just
they definitely could. They definitely could.
There were so many options for them to go down, and I think as long as Nigma can have this conversation after this game, identify at which point in the draft they feel was more like in conversation it might sound really good, but in execution it doesn't work out. And some teams they sometimes fail because the ideas don't match with the gameplay, and I think right now that is where they need to identify that and just throw this away, bring us back yesterday's playbook.
On the bright side, Boom Boys had a smooth sailing, great game from them. MVP wise, there's a lot of players you can make a strong case for. It is GPK that gets the overall last pick, so you could go for him, but Winter Wyvern for Kataomi, it is a signature hero for him for a reason, and this hero, we have seen this in the first phase of bans in the previous series at least once, and I think after his performance here in this first game, I would not be surprised to see it be moved back there in this series as well, because Rhea, you had a great game on this. It was smooth sailing.
I really love Kataomi's Wyvern. I think if you are a support player at home and you want to learn how to get better at the hero, watching his replays is 10 out of 10 choice. Like yesterday, I was singing his praises. The way that this man positions is perfect. The way he itemizes, he usually always gets the rush on the Blink Dagger and then is able to get off the heals in the fights. He's able to get off the ults in the fights. The exact perfect targets that he needs, he will find them. And it also means that he can play back and in positions where the enemy will not be able to find him and start the fight, because Wyvern is probably your #1 target in most games.
Yeah, this hero needs to be dealt with, and I think like the games that we see yesterday and today, somebody picks Wyvern and the hero kind of just like nobody picks Puck, nobody picks Night Stalker, or even like some Snapfire. Like these are heroes that are really, really good against Wyvern, and all the games that it's been overall first pick, it has literally gone uncounted.
Yeah, and also it's like, I know this game wasn't like the most like, wow, oh my god, team fight game.
Yeah,
but I think if you are a Boom Boys fan, like you want your team to win in this style because they saw how Nigma was playing, they asserted their dominance, they knew exactly the timings, and when they wanted to win the game, they just won the game straight away. There was no messing around, there was no like accidental throw deaths, there was no like shenanigans in play. This was just oh wait, they're doing this? Whatever, we play our game, we win. So I think for Boom Boys, it just shows that they are still very, very strong.
It would have been so easy for them to just start running at Nigma Galaxy to try and get kills because it did not feel like Nigma was going to give much gas back. At the end of the day, Boom Boys, they, as he said, knew what to do. There were a couple of moments, one player in particular did get a little bit of heat here on the side of Boom Boys. Ray, you're going to give him some more heat here.
Well, no, not here at all. In fact, you said the support Kataomi is the MVP. I would argue it's Save. I asked for this compilation of deaths. Not because I want to flame him, but because I want to show that this was literally the only play that Nigma could make. They would bring here. Look at this. They brought so many. All 3 cores are wrapped around this Dark Willow right now, and they're getting nothing else. Like, I think these were 3 back-to-back cores. They're using smokes, they're using moonlight shadows, and Save is always positioning himself in the more dangerous areas of the map to either break those or to draw attention on the map, whilst the rest of his cores can play like in safer areas. I think Save did a really good job of just dying this game, genuinely.
That's what happened. Best post-forward players in the world. That's exactly what they do. They always want to go to get extra information, to extra little things. So props to Save for making this life more animated than it was.
Break the smokes, tank the ganks. He did a great job.
You guys have no idea what he actually wants. He actually wanted the earn charges.
Wait, no one's dying. I'll do it myself.
Free TV. Oh my god.
No, I think the game boils down to what we saw happening in the final stages of the draft, having the Huskar taking on the Shadow Fiend. Tigov, it's a matchup that we don't get to see every day.
Yeah, I just want to confirm this is not a bug, guys. Look at that, game time 30 minutes. Your Shadow Fiend is 1-0-0. I promise you he's not AFK in the jungle. He's just farming, he's happy, he's living his life. And I just want to show that
Flourishing.
it's just such a weird stat line for everyone. Like, Lauren and GPK for hero damage as well. At this stage of the game, the highest hero damage for any hero was like 8,000. So it's just, I just wanted to show the weird stats of this very weird game.
It is a weird game.
Props to them, they figure out the SF so quickly. We were like trying to figure out how many heroes can deal with Huskar.
Like
they need
instant.
to pick this, ban this. Everything happened so quickly and instantly clicked the SF. They already knew what was coming.
They knew it was coming, and that it has me wonder, because we wonder like why pick the Huskar at that stage of the game. It has me wonder how much of this was planned in a way. You're going into game 1 of your lower bracket series. You know you're going up against Boom Boys here. So you're coming in with a crafted plan, Tigov. Do you think that that's kind of like the plan for Nigma Galaxy was too rigid and they stuck to it, even though
it feels like this
kind of figured out?
Yeah, it feels like something where they had a conversation and gone, this hero forces these type of bans, this hero, and like they got to the position when, okay, we're going to go for this because it closes out more heroes. And it just felt very textbook and very like something that you have over prepped for.
Yes.
Because like other teams in the draft, they let the draft breathe. When they get to later picks in the draft, they see everything. They find the hero for the moment. This very much felt like they were fixed on this idea in a previous conversation, and they were like, we're doing it. It's like, it just didn't feel right. And it didn't really, when they picked it, we're not like, the Huskar! We're just like, what, the Huskar? Okay. Sorry, my apologies for your, the displacement of your products there. But yeah, it just didn't feel like that impactful. So clearly some prior analysis was incorrect, and just forget the Huskar. That was...
I mean, it's also they got trapped with this Io Mirana. I think this support duo just doesn't really do much in the early game. I mean, we mentioned that they didn't do anything, but I think it's because they just couldn't do anything with the heroes.
They tried to gank the Shadow Fiend. They just walked up, looked at him, and went,
Yeah,
Yeah.
how do you land the arrow?
No, of course, that's why it's funny as hell, because the Marauder walked in to Moonlight Shadow, like stood next to Shadowfiend for a second, looked at GH and went, yeah, and then just walked away.
Yeah. What do we want to see game number 2 then, Rhea? Because it should be easy to just say, you know what, this is game 1. We just brush it off, go next.
To be honest, I just want them to give their best. I think this kind of gameplay is like fine. This felt like, of course, because Boom Boys won, what they wanted, right? They know that this team on Nigma, they cannot outscale their heroes. They know that how to like block their plays from happening. And to be honest, Nigma probably could have been more like ballsy. And I think they won. I think they were scared. In that case, I want Nigma to give a little bit more gusto.
I don't know if they actually realized they needed to be ballsy to actually have a chance to win the game. They sat back and felt like they were saying that it's okay, we can go late game, but in fact, they couldn't.
Yeah, that's like what I want to see them just try and push themselves to their limits. Like, this is your elimination game for TI. You don't want to have regrets. You don't want to be like, oh, I wish we just tried to go for like one more smoke gang. Like, really push the limits of what you can do. Don't let these games like stagnate into what we just watched.
And then we have to point out how the draft started, because we all know how it ended, and we did have some criticism. We love GH on his IO, don't get me wrong. But if you first pick IO in your team Nigma Galaxy, there is no flex potential there. And everybody knows that. And even though we love GH's IO, we know that right now he's stronger as a core. And that means you are spending your overall first pick, which we've discussed, is at the moment maybe in a stronger position to draft from. And you're spending it on a support IO.
Yeah, I mean, as you see from the graphic here, IO is a common hero between both teams. Nigma, they want to take it themselves. I personally don't think it's too much of the IO problem, because GH is so exceptional at the hero, the best in the world over multiple years, that you probably can just find a different way to draft around it, that you aren't forcing yourself down this, last 2 pick situation that we have been, talking about for the last 10 minutes. So I kind of feel like that's fine because of how important the hero is between the 2 teams. Because if you do ban it out, suddenly you're letting through a Lina or a Bounty or a Tree or an Earthshaker or a Coddle or some other, TI winning hero to the other team.
We're going to find out what's coming and who stays alive at the end of this series. Boom Boys 1 game up in this best of 3. And we heard yesterday from Kirtic, and we saw him on his lifestealer in the first game. He is having an absolute blast. He is so happy playing on the main stage of the International, and we see it back in his game plan. He just had the freest game. I think that's the best way you can think of to start your series here against a team that has pulled out some crazy moves. And on the side of Nigma Galaxy, we are waiting for those crazy moves, because game 1 was not it. Maybe we have to get some Enigma coming out. I know, I mentioned it before. It's just, I think that on the grand stage like this, having the power of the crowd helping you out, you need those big team fight ultimates, and you really can play on good vibes. And we know that for the Vi, even though he's tempered himself, we know that he thrives on those moments.
They should try and throw them off. I think Boom Boys, Kirtic especially as a carry, when he gets a stable game like that, where there's no one threatening, pressuring him, he is very reliable. He will get the farm, he will hit his timings, and he will play exactly where he needs to on the map. When you throw him off, that's when we saw see moments of anger, like when he bashed his table. In that game, you had such a high pressure team lineup on the enemy, right? They're running at him, they're under his tier 2 tower, they're forcing him to show up when he doesn't want to show up, and he doesn't know how to react to that. I really think if you throw off this man's tempo, that's how you get him. And this is with Sumail on Nigma, who's willing to play these carries like Clinks and Necrophos. Heroes that can be around the map, playing more like assassins or playing with boosted travel. You can definitely be more mobile and active if you want to be.
Yeah, you don't want to get eliminated from the International with a game like that either. You need to show your best Dota, as Rhea mentioned earlier. Winter, what is the best Dota you feel Nigma Galaxy can bring to the table here?
I think they just need to play standard, and not try to get into their own hits too much with some kind of like prep strategy. Just play. I think they're more than capable of just winning the game, just playing normally. Play to their strengths. Certain heroes should be prioritized more. The support duo has to be a very solid one, so to ensure that the early game, there's some stability in the early game, so they don't get pressured too much. I think they're just overcomplicating things too much in the last game. Sure, it's the first game. People will always say if you have an idea, you want to try something, always do it in the first game. You have some leeway. But right now in the second game, just go back to your roots and do what's worked for your team so far.
do what has worked so far. And so far, we have seen Nigma Galaxy do good work. Also, when they're down, we of course had them start this main event bracket run in the upper bracket, and they were coming out victorious, and that was a long series. They know how to come back after losing a game on this main stage, so I am not worried about that. I want to see them play their best Dota. We want to have a competitive back and forth clash, which we did not get in game 1, which is a shame. And hopefully we'll get our hands on that very type of Dota 2 that will soon get on our screens. 1 game up for Boom Boys. Nigma Galaxy backs against the rope. Good speeches from KuroKy incoming, I would imagine. And heads together. Get the best strategy out there. And just play some good Dota. And guys, just win. Easy.
Nigma Galaxy versus Boom Boys. Game 2.
And we're already quite deep in it, might I say. Nigma Galaxy Radiant side, Boom Boys Dire side. Nigma Galaxy overall last pick, and we had an overall first pick, Keeper of the Light. New one from Boom Boys there, and instant answer from the Ember Spirit. I think when we're talking about comfort on the main stage, Lorenov on the Ember, a lot of people have called him the best Ember Spirit of this year's International. And that is big praise considering the mid laners we've had on this stage, Tigov.
Yeah, and now it's, when you pick it in this position, of course, against GPK, he will happily try and counter that to Oblivion. There's Slardars, there's Huskars, there's so many options. So we'll see where Boom Boys go for that. But yeah, the Keeper of Light, it was banned in the first game. Very high priority throughout the entire tournament. So also interesting to see what type of partnerships Boom Boys are going to present with that one. Of course, there's so many options. Mainly, I actually prefer Coddle for the sustain and push forward. I don't really look towards the hero now for like, oh, you need the chakra combo. Oh, like I'm not trying to pick like Ember Coddle. I'm just like, go forward, run through the map and just kill everything.
Yeah, but at the same time, I do feel like when you mention these counters, this hero counters to the Ember in the lane, they don't really like playing with Kotal. Like, sure, the heals are, like the chakra is not just the hero, but you do want to have someone that you can play with in the early stages as Kotal. And I do feel like some games that I've watched when you have Kotal with, for example, with Huskar, they don't really do much together.
They haven't banned Slark on Nigma, so...
Oh, that's one we've been seeing quite a bit in that mid lane against Ember.
Yeah.
Successfully so, of course.
And also is the same draft that happened before where Boom Boys first picked Coddle, Aurora picked Ember, then Boom Boys picked Slark +1 as a response.
Personally, I've only enjoyed seeing Slark with Io. I think otherwise, the hero, it doesn't necessarily ensure you're going to win your lane. Like if you play Ember versus Huskar, the Ember has to do gymnastics around the mid lane to try and like drag waves and stuff, right? But even when I've seen Ember face up honestly against Slark, sometimes it can still go even.
Envision game 1 against Spirit in the upper bracket. No one put on a bit of a clinic at shutting down the Ember.
Yeah. But the laning phase, I do feel like it's not really the be-all and all. As long as you have a draft that can allow you to play later in the mid-game with your support, your Ember has something to do. You can lose the lane, it's fine, it's not the end of the world, and you can slowly find pixels of the map, like with Mirana, you can walk around, chains, arrow, get a kill here and there, then you slowly come back into the game.
Oh, they've gone for the puck, right? It's a hero that can play very nicely into the Ember. It punishes both Ember and Mirana, who are ability-based heroes.
Yeah, very good with the Kotal, you can chakra and abuse the puck even more.
A very honest mid matchup.
Yes,
I'd
it's
say.
so much nicer than
that's what we want to see. A real game, you know, we want to see a real game.
A real game, a real mid battle between Puck and Ember Spirit. Let's see though, I mean, I'm sure they're going to get some helps from the side lanes, already having Keeper of the Light and Mirana there. And now the Undying here on the side
aggression.
of Boom Boys.
A lot of aggression in the early game. Like Undying plus Puck. Basically, in all the early team fights, in the rivers and everything, you put a tombstone with a coil, you're going to win those team fights.
But there's also the flex, right? The idea that if, you know, Soma wants to take like a tiny or something here, now you're potentially playing into an Undying offlane with a Keeper like, you know, 4 position, and you're going to get completely shut out of that lane. You cannot even go near it.
I think they cannot really pick, or they shouldn't pick the carry here, unless there's something that can deal. Okay, they go for the SF, so they're not worried about the Undying going to the off lane so much, but it is still indeed a very strong lane, Undying off lane with the Kotal. Like it could potentially cause some problems for the SF, but Shaman is This is not a very, very common hero. I guess they just wanted a Hex against Puck.
But then why not go Lion?
I mean, Omar has played it so far in TI, so most likely just the 4 position, and he'll be running around and hoping to stop the
I mean, to answer the question, why not Lion? I think laning phase wise, Shaman is more solid against the compared to the Lion. And the other thing that Shaman has here is you can actually kill the Tombstone with your snakes. So that's like some added value there.
It's so annoying thinking about this lane. It's going to be like loads of kill threat if you don't pick the right hero. Because I see these supports. I want to pick Lycan, but I don't want to do that lane. I'm wondering if there's ways for them to pull and get advantage out of it that way. Because whilst Ace struggled on the hero earlier, it felt like these summons were still such a pain in the ass. It doesn't matter anyway. They'll pick Underlord, which is much more sturdy. And the Axe Rush against Ember is so good.
He does get bullied by the SF in the lane. And with Kotal, like some supports can allow the Underlord to play the lane, like Underlord plus Rubik, Underlord plus Lion, any stun. But with Kotal, it can be quite complicated.
They're gonna stack though.
I mean, that's mainly where Mirana, I think, helps the Underlord pick, right? Because Mirana isn't this like explosive kill laner. It's more like a lot of chip and poke over time. So Underlord, by the time you get to level 3-4, you'll have your point in pit, and then you can distance yourself from the Shadow Fiend. I mean, Boom Boys, their entire draft, it just feels annoying to kill. You jump a guy, there's a Tombstone saved from Undying, or there's a Keeper like Hill, or Puck has an Aeon Disc or some Yules or whatever. Underlord with the auras, it's really just obnoxious to fight into. So Nigma Galaxy, luckily for them, they do have very clean damage once they find a hero. It's just a matter of like, just pretty much stop Undying and you can burst anyone.
And that is hard. Like, their initiation being like Hex and Shackles from Shaman is just going to be completely stopped by Undying's Shard Tombstone. So but it's hard to kill this hero too. I think when you can react to any go with Underlord Portal, and like if they're also playing the map correctly, you have Puck coming in to punish as well. It's so quick how fast Boom Boys can collapse onto a fight.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying here. Like, it's going to be more complicated for Nigma to play the map and run around, find kills, whereas Boom Boys, you have the global presence of the Underlord. It's easier for you to set up. And right now, the team fight, they also have very, very strong team fight with Undying and Puck.
That's why you always need to kind of respect the Mirana. So like the map play of Nigma, even though it's quicker for Boom Boys to get around, like you are going to have the invisibility, the speed to play on the runes. If you set up the Mirana at the rune with the Shaman, you get the Puck kill, it's going to feel quite nice. And they do ban out the Enigma on Boom Boys because Divide does have last pick in draft priority. So based on the last game where he kind of got sacrificed on a Centaur, now he's going to see all 9 heroes in the game before he locks in his own.
Yeah, you need that X Factor, I think, in a game like this. What is still in the pool that would lane nicely? We only know so far that it's going to be the Undying he lanes against, but of course, by the time Davai gets his say in, we will know which hero Kiritich will play against him. And normally you go for a ranged carry when you have the Undying to lane with. There's a lot still in the pool.
Yeah, you kind of need some stunts. I don't know, like, there's still Win.
TA.
There's Lina still even in.
The TA is still available, but yeah. There's so, I mean,
Yeah.
all of
There, like World Choice at this point.
There's a lot of heroes, but I would prefer something that has some stuns.
Like a stun.
They do lag.
yeah, of course.
They do lag a little bit of like.
Oh, Tiny, that's good.
Tiny has stuns. Not ranged though.
Yep, not range but has stuns, so he takes one of the boxes at least.
Yep.
Yeah, I kind of forgot they were lacking stuns, to be fair. I look at Puck, and I see Puck, I'm like, she does everything, it's fine. But yeah, no, that does kind of complete the draft.
And it's the issue of having Kotal and Undying as your double sub, right? You do lack stun, so Tiny does nicely to complement that department.
Let's take a moment to appreciate how much bonus time Nigma Galaxy still has left at this stage in the draft. They've only used 20 seconds of it so far, meaning that the game plan and the draft has played out in a way that maybe they were very comfortable with. And they get a lot of time to think about what they want to do with this overall last pick, is why you see Divide talk here, because he gets to decide against the Undying and the Tiny, what does he want to lane against? What would you want to lane against?
No one wants to lane against Undying.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But
if
could
you
try
have
and
to.
I might just try and buff up like the damage from my Shadow Fiend. You could pick a Slardar, and then it gives you your ability to take your Roshan. You're going to have your Shaman help you take towers. I think it just gives you every tool you need to do objectives.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Device, like, you can Slardar or you can, like, Night Stalker for, like, the meta, or you can do, like... Yeah, actually, no, to be fair. I think I like Night Stalker a bit, just for like the puck and the fact that Undying Coddle, just you look at them.
I would love that, genuinely.
Yeah, it's
and you just
very
keep
nice.
chasing them down, and then you give this like insane vision for Shaman to find the jump. So it's like Divide will then complement the lack of like clean initiation from Nigma, because like one player, he can fix it for his hero. But there's also like, he's such a specialty player on like Primal Beast and stuff, like even into Tiny, he doesn't care. So he might be like, you know what guys, trust me, I can do it.
This
but
is the game.
I think Night Stalker is like, that's where my head sits.
I mean, does he? Oh, there's no Timber. I was gonna say.
Yeah, that's gone, that's gone.
3 strength heroes.
I think you can trust your Shadow Fiend to be able to kill Tiny.
It will be the Slardar.
Yeah, it's a very, very nice pick to complement the whole lineup. They are just thinking because they're worried about lane, because Undying is very annoying for Slada.
Is it too annoying?
Only for the early stages.
Okay.
I think later you don't really mind it that much with the sprint and when you have your BKB especially. But in the early game, it is very annoying. But I do like the pick. I like the overall setup here. I think it's back to basics for Nigma Galaxy. The last game, it was maybe a little bit too cheesy for me. This time, they're trying to play normal Dota. They have the SF minus armor, Slada minus armor, a lot of damage. They have some team fight with the Shaman. They have some good stunts with the Ember Spirit and the Mirana. I think their draft takes a lot of boxes, and I like it this time.
Yeah, I agree with Winter. I feel like Nigma has improved their draft immensely. Like, you look at it and you go, yeah, that can play any stage of the game. It can play for Roshan. It can take towers. It can end the game in 30 minutes. It can win a game in 90 minutes. Like, it feels like it can do everything. And that's what you want to see. Because, like, we didn't watch a game of Dota in the first game. That was just, you know, Boom Boys farming and then just tripping over the Ancient, and suddenly we're here, right? So it is a lot better from Nigma this time around.
Yeah, I really love Nigma's draft. If they're going to win a game, I do believe that it can be this one. That said, I do want to give a little credit to Boom Boys. I think GPK on his puck is a force to be reckoned with, and I think this coil kind of breaks apart Nigma's entire lineup. Like, it's so hard to play into this route, and they have so much combo with it. The Tombstone on top, the Tiny can toss out. I think that they have a lot of things to play with on Boom Boys' side. But yes, this game should be a lot more fun.
Want to touch upon that Puck versus the Ember, though, because this is Lorenov's best hero. So we got GPK Puck versus the Lorenov Ember. It's an absolute treat with those two on the mid lane. Tigov, this mid lane, is it that Puck favored, or will we have a nice back and forth brawl here?
It's going to be back and forth. It's mainly who hits level 6. If Puck hits 6 with coil and supports rotating, you can kill the Ember, utilize Catapult Wave, take tower. So I think it's more on the supports, because between the CSing, it should just be a slight Ember favor, but Puck killing eventually.
Slight Ember favor. I think that's all Lorenov needs maybe to propel his team into victory. Can this be a 3-game series, or maybe Boom Boys will take this one in a 2-0? I know someone who would really like this to be in a 2-0, and he's standing by with Slacks right now. Let's head over to Bulk.
Absolutely. I guess I'll ask that as my first question. Would you like this to be a 2-0, or do you want these guys to put up a bit of a fight?
Хочешь ли ты, чтобы это была серия 2-0, или пусть они посоревнуются с вами?
Я хочу, чтобы это было 2-0.
I would like 2-0 for sure.
I thought you would. All right, well, let's talk a little bit about this team. Nigma Galaxy is a team that a lot of people, you know, maybe don't respect enough, maybe don't research enough. It seemed like you guys were extremely ready for this match last game. Did you prep a lot? Were you ready to come in?
Многие недооценивают Нигму как соперника. Подготовились ли вы к ним специально в этой серии?
Мы больше фокусируемся на своей игре.
We are focused on our own game more than preparing to some particular opponent.
Oh, so you don't care about them at all?
То есть вам все равно?
Да?
Yeah.
God damn. Okay, no problem. Can you talk to me a little bit about Puck? We're seeing a resurgence in Puck now. Nisha Puck came back. Not as good as GPK. But what do you think about this hero? Why are we suddenly seeing it again?
Много Пака в играх. GPK на нем играет, Ниша на нем играл. Почему мы так часто его видим?
Хороший герой.
Just a good character.
Just a good character. No other reason.
Никаких других причин.
What is your favorite color?
Какой твой любимый цвет?
Зеленый.
Green one.
Green, it's great. We got an answer, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and get into the game.
Slacks tries to get anything at all he can out of Volga. It's just not going to happen, Trent. Man, they really did not want to say much more. Good character.
Yeah, I mean, his favorite color is green, but it's red for now. They're on the Dire, and they got first blood. So Boom Boys already off to a hot start. As he said, focused on their own game, and so far that worked out very well for them in game number 1. Nigma Galaxy maybe a little too focused on their own game, going for that Huskar draft that didn't quite pan out the way they'd hoped. They've gone for something a little more even-keeled in this game number 2.
And it's worth noting again, like we talked about a little bit in the game itself, it was Boomboy's understanding like the single-mindedness of the Nigma Galaxy draft, and when it was that they wanted to make moves and then just dodge, they backed away, moonwalked out of there. There's no issues at all. This time around, though, you have a little bit of a different dynamic. Obviously, Slardar being played out of the off lane. This time for Divai, going to be looking for how early do you think we're going to be seeing a Blink Dagger from him?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty early last game for a Centaur, but, you know, Centaur, you can still just have that confidence you're going to buy the heart and scale much later and later. Slardar, not quite as good in that department for sure. So you are definitely encouraged more so to get your Blink, get your shard, get into the battle. So definitely early moves for sure.
Omar going to get punched and pummeled, and a crush to try and keep him alive. Kill a zombie, maybe. He does go into a little sheep form and then runs out of there. Gets some separation. Divai getting pressured underneath the tower here with that early tombstone drop down.
Keeping it going. No relaxing it from Kirich to Kataomi, just right under the tower, and such low resource left here on Nigma Galaxy. But they managed to survive this time. Of course, he will not have that foul play again for another minute and a half, so have to be a little bit more cautious in this one. Mid lane already off to another good start here. Of course, for this puck, because of that first blood, GPK is going to be able to abuse the resources a bit more, get some better trades, faster levels, something Lornov's going to have to be considering the entire time. But Lornov, you know, a combo hero this time. He's going to have this Ember, and he has the Mirana on his side, which we've seen paired so often as GH is already in trouble, though. Forced to leave out.
You know, it's interesting, too, because, you know, they're talking about the 2-0 dynamic, wanting to get it early. The other thing to keep in mind is that for Boom Boys, if they win this, they've got to play another series later on in the day. Would love to be able to go take a little bit of a break, get some relaxation before that happens. There is still going to be one more lower bracket game to be played on elimination day here. Divai finds a crush, trying to keep it bullying the Undying. That's not going to work so well.
No, this is still the best 5 in the game right now for securing a lane. I think that is the peak Undying gameplay here in those first 5 minutes. Constantly in your face. Like, very happy to die oftentimes just to get your resources back up, right? Like, you'll see these, the mangoes just ferried out to the Undying. They're happy to get a positive trade. Even if they die first, I feel like Undying players don't care at this point. Keeping the enemy cores off the farm as much as they can. For now, though, they're doing fine. Mike Divai, 15 CS, he's all right. A little bit ahead of Kirich.
And a really nice looking draft by and large. You can see Divai, they drop down the tombstone now against Kataomi. Going to decide to go for the Undying, but deny to the neutral. Very good. Miero on the other side of the map goes down to Sumail. Now Kirich takes some more hits. Do they have another round of the shackles? They will indeed. A few more punches. And Kirich, the menace of Game 1, is going to go down.
Yeah, finds the positioning there for the body block. On the other side, yeah, we had a full-on other battle happening as we had a double kill picked up by Save on the bottom half of the map. So action all over the place as we settle at 3-2 right now in Boom Boy's favor.
Renoff playing it very low against GPK. Does still have that water rune ready and is going to heal back up now. Up on the top side of the map, though, Divai, who's been playing pretty aggro, does not have that much HP at all and is going to have to retreat back and salve up. Mars Courier is even brought down.
Oh, that's a bit tough. Yeah, they are certainly at a resource disadvantage here. Divai's just like backpacking, getting his salve out, and will have himself killed back up in time for the wave. So last game, you know, they had to roll for initiative on the side of Nigma Galaxy. They somehow found a 0 on a 20-sided die. I didn't know it was on there. They managed to do it. This game looks a lot better. Like, the idea of being able to actually start a fight and feel like you can create some sort of problem for your opponent, it can definitely happen. Last game, it mostly didn't happen because you had a mid who never got into the game. The Huskar just like, he made some cool moves, he got some kills, but you have to be so far ahead to make those plays happen. And they also weren't even able to get the plays going with their IO. Like, there was no attempt to like make a relocate play or try and get like an outnumber situation going their way. This game, it is Boom Boys that are working in that department in terms of being able to outnumber their opponents with the Fiends game. We've seen that be used plenty times in this tournament to just keep getting the edge in these fights. And of course, this Aghanim's rush on the Underlord has looked so strong this tournament.
Gates, you're going to see Dying come through the twin gate there, realizes there's not really much of an option to make a dive happen, and then leaves. There's also going to be a TP over for the 6-minute rune, so Puck will likely be denied this. And especially actually with the Remnant down. They do manage to scan, and it is going to be down bottom where Lorenov bottles up the amplified damage. Omar walking aggressively at the Puck. Shadow Shaman.
Yeah, GH can use that opportunity as well to get a ward down there in Boomboy's Ancients area. Keep an eye on any sort of stacks that might want to build up here. Omar even runs in behind the tier 1. So he is saying, I'm going to go over towards that Wisdom. Are you guys going to fight us, or what's the plan? Mirana's backing away. Is he still going to go for this?
Omar's here. Save will now run into him, and Omar, realizing the error of his ways, is going to back out. Now they're bringing over the Ember. Sumail is also here with GH.
Okay, they're committing.
They are in the area. Again, 10 seconds. Are there going to be any follow-up rotations? Save found.
Another ward.
They got him. Arrow out connects, and that's going to be enough. Now on the other side, Devi is able to keep back the Undying, so I think this is just going.
Yeah. Moranov's going to get one of the Shrines of Wisdom on his mid-Ember here. Feels really good. GBK takes the opportunity to invade a little bit here and finds a stack that they've got. So, you know, a little bit of value being stolen away now by Lorenov in punishment for going for that shrine, but...
I mean, it's one stack, like...
Yeah, no, it's...
fine with this.
You're very pleased right now if you're Nigma Galaxy, right? I mean, Ember top of the board and boosted XP.
Immediately going to be going into an urn. Lorenov steps forward, going to right-click GPK, right-click save. The remnants of that amp damage still there. They pop the coil. Arrow in the area. Katomi moving over. Lorenov doesn't manage to get out. Just an unnecessarily aggressive play gets punished.
I mean, you gotta think though, like, oh, I'll be fine. I have 4 points in Flame Guard. Like, but then the Underlord walks out of the jungle. You're like, okay, well that's not good. But I'll get out of the range and snap the coil. And then suddenly Undying is there too. You know, like he's trying to play to the absolute edge of his hero because he's very good at Ember.
Yes.
He just didn't have the reason there were that many enemy heroes here from Boom Boys.
And there is a little bit of a counterplay. Immediately, they take down that tier 1 tower in the bottom lane.
True.
Sumail now steps forward. Omar and GH nearby. Shackle and the Arrow follow-up. So they move in with the Shadow Fiend, and Sumail, obviously very comfortable on this hero, playing it so many years out of the mid lane.
And you can see GH immediately pings, like, they have wards here. They just barely missed the one by the Ancients, and then there's also one that's in behind the tier 1 down bottom. So they have complete control over this phase alone. Like, he's still playing up on that hill right now.
Yeah. Kiritich gonna need to get a little bit back as GH just consistently a menace. But they will stack up these camps, it looks like, and try and build that piggy bank from Arrow.
Now look at GH. He arrows one of the creeps, and then he body blocks the bottom camp as well, so they don't get the stack. And he's going to sit here, soak a bunch of the XP, and steal some of the gold. And what can they do? He's got a leap. They don't have the catch to punish him right now. And this is, as you heard Winner on the panel saying, like, they brought out this Tiny, they have the Puck. A lot of what these two heroes do, and even the Underlord, is they're making up for the support duo, having no catch, right? Undying, Coddle, you got nothing you can do against these pesky little supports. They just want to come in, poke around your side of the map, and leave scot-free.
If they can keep this momentum going on Nigma and take some more of these towers, we're already seeing the ways in which you might be able to sort of build up a pretty substantial lead for Nigma Galaxy. Just need to make sure that Lorenov doesn't take any walks through the woods with the Underlord nearby.
Yeah, it feels a lot like these Bounty Hunter games that you're seeing, where they're spending so much time having to keep up with what these supports are up to and these little ganks from Lorenov that you don't have any time to go and deal with the Shadow Fiend. At the same time, your Tiny is also free to farm right now, but he's not going to farm as fast as Shadow Fiend ran out with Razors.
Oh, Lorenov gets the bottle. The Shield Rune is there. Gonna pop it now, trying to stay alive. Double round of hits, and do they have enough to kill GPK? Not quite, but he gets caught by the fear. And that is going to be enough. Now Lorenov steps further forward, finds Katomi. He has chains, but with no arrow follow-up, they're just going to take down that tombstone and then move for the tower.
I mean, this is a catapult mid. Keep it up. Who cares about a catapult? We're dropping the snakes.
And off. Ace Katomi won't do much more beyond that. But with those snakes down and buildings hit, they can do some serious damage. GH backs away from Nero. The Remnant forward.
The 2 wards,
The
man.
chains. Oh, is there anything else for Nero? They don't have any way to save him. The Underlord also goes down.
That sentry missing by just a couple units has destroyed the early game of Boom Boys. The snakes do get cleared out. Omar's still sticking around, threatening a little bit around here, but Sumail willing to even hit the tower a few times here with his Dragon Lance. He does not necessarily want to leave.
I mean, they don't have coil for another 10 seconds, and maybe understanding, as you can see, that ward being the difference maker.
Yeah, it's so painful. They just keep getting him over and over again with it.
How do Boom Boys respond to this? They had a pretty dominant game number 1 once they decided to finally get online and start fighting.
They decided it's that coil. It's back up. They're smoking right away. Finding Sumail would be great. Do they have the damage to deal with him, though? I mean, I guess the Underlord gate is back up to 15. He might have to join in on this. Tiny is coming through.
If they find the Ember, it's pretty bad. I don't know if they can do much.
Look at this. They're hoping that Sumail was down here farming, but they miss with the scan. He's too far back.
Oh, and he's just a little ways away. Yeah.
You can take the tower. It's not the worst, you know, but certainly not the dream.
We're looking at too, Nero. He's going for a little bit of a different build than these other Underlords have gone because it's been so painful for him. Going Atos first.
Yeah.
And, you know, we were talking about this, I think with Cinder the other day, like potentially seeing Lightmere out of these heroes instead of the Shivas. Is this going to be the first time in a while that we've seen it from him?
I mean, I'm wondering if he just doubles up and goes Atos into the Aghanims, you know? Like,
yeah, honestly.
Maybe he's just thinking we need this lockdown. It's good versus the Slardar. It's good versus the Ember, the Mirana. Like, it could be the difference maker, but it would be a very heavy investment. So, yeah, that's a bit of a tough call. It definitely speaks more to me of saying, I want to get this Atos and then go into some sort of an aura to help my team.
Enough will get the bounty rune. Kiritich taking the same walk that Sumail did, but up on the top side of the lane. The scan hits onto Katomi, so not who they wanted, and as the smoke breaks, it will just be Undying.
He's got 1,600 HP.
Yeah, are they? Okay, they ward trap him, so they decide we're going to take this kill.
I was thinking, you know, TP's kind of healthy, or the tower rather, we could TP in and maybe fight for him, but I don't know, they'll just knock him down, so the surge means he's immediately back up, but that ulti has a very long cooldown, so Dying will be a bit weaker for a while as they successfully take the top tier 1 tower.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
All tier 1s down across the map for Boom Boys. Nigma trying to get into their next set of items. For Omar, it would be pretty huge if he can get into the Blink Dagger, but he's decided to go for the Aether Lens first instead.
Is under attack.
Yeah, a little bit more consistent on the Shadow Shaman. Obviously, all of your spells benefiting from it, so it feels very good on the hero. In 14 minutes, this time they're really making sure they get their wisdom, huh? They bring 4 heroes here. So, assuming that any aggressive maneuver, maybe they saw part of the Moonlight Shadow in a ward, I'm not sure. They thought, hey, they're coming for our wisdom. We want to fight, we want to make sure we get it. Does not end up being the move made by Nigma Galaxy, and perhaps seeing, hey, they didn't come for the wisdom is why you're seeing Kiritich way back here. Farming near his base, too worried to go anywhere else.
I mean, it's a good read of the map, right? And recognizing that there is just not really a safe place to be in your own jungle, at least for now. And these, like, very deep wards, he's going to walk into them at this point. I do wonder if Nigma are going to try and play a little bit more aggressively again, or if they're going to feel like this lead is enough to sort of sit on until they can get enough things to go for the Roche. Like, how quickly do you want to play with this Shadow Fiend?
Yeah, there's no real rush. I think trying to secure the area around the Tormentor would feel very nice to them. I mean, they've obviously already pushed down the tower. I'd like to see them keep pushing that wave out. The Tormentor with the Slardar, very easy thing to do. Having that available 5 minutes from now will be great. Atos finished up, but also the Yules down here for GH on his Mirana. Had a great game so far, top of the supports. 0, 1, and 5, providing a ton of vision and just uncertainty for his opponents whenever they drop these Moonlight Shadows, forcing them to group up, waste TPs, and slowing down their farm.
15 minutes in, that 4K gold lead, Nero getting closer to an opportunity to battle with the Atos done now. it feels weird to sort of just sit on this and not be able to find a fight. But obviously, if you're sort of waiting for those bigger items on your other cores, it's like, what are you really going to be doing? I guess like the hope is maybe you can find a pickoff on the runoff if he steps a bit too far forward. But this is not what you want to have happen. A solo kill between the supports, gifted over to Sumail on a silver platter.
Yeah, those wards doing some mad damage into that Underlord.
Liking what Omar is doing for him.
Yeah, I mean,
he didn't even have to leave his farming pattern.
Definitely one of the benefits of Shadow Shaman over the Lion, as we were discussing in terms of like this counter versus the puck, why you pick one over the other. Kind of only going to get found out here first.
Right there, bringing in numbers. GPK coil connects onto 2. Tombstone down. Are they out a bit too far? Actually, he didn't get the coil onto the Ember, so only Devi is found there. But with the Ava toss, now Lorenov Silence in trouble, not able to escape. Boom Boys, they strike back.
Their patience pays off. This is what I think you're waiting for as Boom Boys, because you know the Slardar wants to make moves, because that's how the hero wants to play the game. He can't just sit back and farm stacks right now like your offlaner can. So there is this innate pressure on the Slardar to try and make these moves, and they caught him. Like, they've been kind of dangling out Kataomi a little bit, and this time he was not free. Last time, he was all alone. It was totally fine. We can just kill this guy. This time, the backup was there, instantly punished on a Lorenov, and I mean, that's going to slow down his BKB. They're going to have to start thinking more about the objectives, perhaps, and less of these kills.
The Blink Dagger on the way for the puck is now going to set up these kills even that much easier for them on Boom Boys. Sumail still yet to be really touched, but Katomi, they run into him again, and this time, with Omar in hand, it will be enough. A little bit of retribution.
Better on that one there. We're gonna pick up a greedy Searing Signet. Start moving into our second round of the neutral items. And it's also done for Sumail, though, big items.
I think those kills are super important mentality-wise for Nigma also, right? You already are down 1-0 in this series. If you like lose the Slardar and the Ember and then you're not getting an immediate kill afterwards, you could start feeling like tense in these moments where there's not much happening.
Yeah, you don't really want to be the Slardar being like, guys, can we go do something? Because like my farming ain't that fast right now after losing 1 kill.
Heritage, they find him. The Hex is there.
The friends are here. They gotta bail.
Yeah, they gotta go. Okay, so they bait out the Fiend Skip. Okay, then they'll get out.
Renov trying to keep this mid lane pushed in here. There's GH backing him up. They don't really have a kill combo though, with just these 2 on the Underlord.
I don't know. I'm starting to get worried for Nigma here.
Feeling the dread.
I am
typical Nigma fan. When their team is up, they get more worried. I believe is how it usually goes.
I mean, what can you say? After that last one, you got this aggressive style. This would be a nice catch for them if they could find him, and yes, they do. Oh, the Tumbler's toy into the control, and yes, they find and kill GPK.
Oh man, he is really punishing the lack of stuns on the 2 supports. It's very good. He's just getting full-length shackles.
Omar having a standout performance on this unorthodox hero, the Shadow Shaman. Opting to go just straight into that Aether Lens and making good use of the Tumbler's toy.
BKB nearly done for Renov as well, so it gives him a nice focal point in these fights. He can get up ahead, provide some vision, let Sumail just run on in. He's close to his Force Half as well to pair up with his Dragon Lance, and already has a Manta versus the silences of this puck so that he can stand tall and threaten the Requiem. Which means that if you're on the side of Boom Boys, you are waiting for Kiritich. He's only a little bit behind the Shadow Fiend. Definitely growing to a larger and larger threat over time. But you're going to be trying to get some sort of a Shadow Blade play once that's finished.
Yeah, and you know, it really is like when Sumail shows up, that's the big commit that happens with the Shadow Fiend, right? You've got like the little crush coming out from Devi, you've got Ember's things to sort of start fights, 2 different heroes to start fights, and then one that's definitely going to be there to end it. Get the right type of control out.
All right, 20 minutes here. Slardar lineup. Tormentor and Roche on the menu right now. First, we're going to check for the rune. It's going to be a regen up top. They instantly smoke. The circles are being drawn on the map here, I believe, by both teams right now.
Yeah.
Radiant going to scan. Dire going to scan.
Takes out the wave in the mid. And as that shows, maybe this signals to GPK to be a little bit careful. Broke in. Get him. He's over to the side, but no, backs away. Now Remedy forward, Lernoff
got
wants
one
to find
more.
something.
Last one.
Good Yules, keeping him alive and save. He gets caught by the root. The blinding light pushback. Needs a few more hits at Sumail. He takes it.
They had to spend a lot for that kill, but there was no idea of counterplay here from Boo Boys. We saw previously they would just instantly alt TP, you know, so they clearly have very direct and clear communications as to when they actually want to fight, and that one was just not happening. It means they're going to get this wisdom. They go back. Kataomi tries to sneak it on the other side of the map. He gets pushed back up by Lorenov. They are not letting you get something on them right now.
All right. Gonna use the Tombstone Shard. GH starts to hit it. Yule's Scepter. Giving the last hit over to Lorenov. Misses the arrow. Don't worry, nobody saw.
It was zoning.
Yep, exactly. And Kataomi eventually goes down to Lorenov. I mean, he's living for a long time. There's no way you get out of this one, surely, but he's gonna make him work for it, if nothing else.
Well, fortunately, because they have a Slardar and a Shadow Fiend, they did not need any help on the Tormentor. So they were fine to just deal with Kataomi at the same time. It's going to go over to Omar on the Shadow Shaman. The Ernaconda.
Yeah.
Do you want some? That is the question.
5,000 gold lead. 12-6. GH stacking up camps. Try and keep building that piggy bank up for the squad. Omar. No, it's interesting. We think about this like answer for the puck, but usually it's off the back of a Blink Dagger. He's been making GPK feel pretty afraid with just the Tumbler's toy, and now going to be going into the 4-stack. So thinking more about like saving his own team from these problems.
I think part of it is that you already have some other tools that are causing like a mental stack issue for the puck between like the Slardar Crush, the Slardar Punch, the Ember Searing Chains. So he doesn't necessarily have to be the first one in.
I'll also mention, we keep looking at Miro. The Atos has not felt like it's been helpful.
He's an Atos?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I've seen him use it even. And going towards that Aghanim Scepter as soon as possible could maybe help make this Ember feel a little bit less comfortable.
I mean, it feels bad though, because he has a BKB.
It's true.
And you've gone Atos into Aghanims.
Yes, yes.
That does not feel great.
Well, Omar there to try and help take down Roche. So the first Aegis of the game going to be going to Sumail. One of the few heroes and players in this.
Oh, GH. Under a sentry, they missed the coil.
Oh, that's not what you want to see if you are a Boom Boys fan. Now Divide getting closer to a BKB as well. Everything this game too seems to just be going Nigma's way.
It is a very balanced lineup. They did very well in their lanes. Maybe they have relaxed into an even further state of nirvana thanks to Kuro, do you think?
A zen state, if you will. Yeah.
I mean, Lernoff looks pretty relaxed right now. He's chatting up a little bit here.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
See if they can keep that going.
Aegis here on Sumail looking into a Satanic. No BKB for the king. Does not need that as a crown. What is a Satanic?
It's like an axe or something, right?
I always envision it as like a mask.
Okay.
But you know how you just have this idea of what the
down
item
bottom
looks like in your head?
They find them one. Yeah, and save is just gone. A mask?
No. Yeah, I don't know. It kind of looks like something goes on your head, kind of like the Mask of Madness. You know, I feel like it's a similar thing here. It saves deaths last game. Great deaths. I think Ray brought up on the panel as well. I was thinking the same thing. Like he had some fantastic feeds last game. He was always in the right spot to prevent any sort of like a comeback kill from Nigma. This time,
comparison,
they're more of deathly. You know, they're just like, okay, well,
that's unfortunate.
These feeds aren't quite as good, unfortunately, because they're more forced feeds of like, I'm just trying to delay things, you know? Whereas before it's like, I'm getting a good trade out of this.
Drop down snakes. Kiritich as they step up and smoke up.
All right, here it is. Let's see the double roots. How many roots does Miro have? He's an old gnarled tree. Atos, Aghanims.
It's going to be going for the Crozier next. But as they see GPK on this ward left behind, Nigma realized we're not in danger. They're not chasing right now. It's an amp damage cuck.
Okay, the Crozier could go kind of crazy though if he catches Sumail with the Satanic, because that's his defensive mechanism right now, right?
Oh yeah.
Right? It's Manta Satanic, so
True.
that could be beastly. That could really turn things around because he sees all this magic damage from Boom Boys and he just says, all right, well, I just Satanic. They don't have enough disables. We have clearly seen that this game. So
what
I'll
you're
just
telling
heal
me,
through it.
Boom Boys, they just need to keep farming. Just keep farming and everything will be okay. That's what I'm hearing here.
Is that? I don't think that's what I said at all.
The Crozier.
I was describing a
the
team
Crozier.
fight. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. All right. Oh.
Okay, up on the high ground, he Anacondas and just finds him. Oh man, understanding what was happening, and they take the tier 2 tower.
It's a little stuck right now. It's okay though. Don't worry about it. You got blink in a few seconds.
5k gold lead. This whirling dervish of damage that is going to be Sumail's Shadow Fiend. And Boom Boys do not have an answer.
No, I mean, trying to go back to that fight right now, it does not feel great with an Aeon Disc available on your puck. Gonna retreat back here.
I mean, that sucks, right? Because you're going for this big play with an amp damage, and you've got your new item, and then now they are all under a ward, but okay, not any longer. Omar, he's on it. Great game from Omar.
Yeah, he has definitely stepped it up this time. The Shadow Shaman gets a bit of a comfort pick here, had an excellent laning stage, and consistently finding on these fights. Look at the way he's like linked up with Divide. They got the M click on each other, just following each other around right now.
Other thing is that this next Aegis
they are
that
hunting.
Get, as Miero may be in a little bit of trouble here.
Oh
no. Wait. When they end up having the banner, I mean, that paired together with Shadow Shaman is super nice. Drop the wards, get out.
Omar, he's got the read on this. They kind of saw the way that GPK's been playing this map right now. He does not jaunt to that orb.
Oh, GPK,
Just
he sees them and
it.
they find it. The Hex is there. Miero, you are not going to save your puck, sir. As they get that kill, Aeon Disc 15 seconds away from salvation. It was too late.
I don't even think they had a ward down here. That was purely based on how the puck played up top that they managed to find that. They figured that he had pushed out top, gone to the Twin Gate, and wanted to farm those camps. So they pincer in between with the two heroes that both, like whoever finds him first, will chain into the next because he's still at 20 seconds left on the Aeon Disc. Really well played and well coordinated here from Nigma Galaxy.
Feels like that last game and all of the frustration long forgotten for this team as they have looked like an entirely new roster without Huskar. Hero is terrible.
Did not work well from the previous game, it's true. Things much brighter this time for them. And the bright side for Boom Boys, you would think would be this Tiny.
Yeah.
He is still very farmed. Tier 2 is a big beast this game, but he has not found any way to get involved whatsoever. He is 1-1-1 with 399 last hits. The creeps fear him.
Yes.
But the enemy team don't even know he exists.
You're not wrong. It's just been basically nothing out of the Tiny so far. And you think about this game, and it's still very possible that any high ground push that gets made there, as you can see, 3,300 damage for the Tiny. At any high ground push, this could all turn around. One toss back underneath towers.
Aeon Disc again here, perhaps GPK. So close by. Sumail gonna realize, oh, I believe there might be detection here.
But it also speaks there underneath an entire ward with Puck right next to them. They don't feel like they can fight.
Dire's bottom tower.
And off. Steps forward, the silence is there. No follow-up.
No force the BKB either. That would have felt like... I think even throwing a Fiend's Gate might have been tempting there to try and bait up the BKB.
Tries to hit the pit. It takes too long. That ward untouched.
Heritage? He picks up his Hyperstone here, but they are close by. Kataomi's backing him up with the shard if they go for him. Oh, but he's out.
Instead, trying to find Katomi, maybe?
That is the problem of no blink, though.
Yes.
As he brought up before, right? He tries to 4-7, Tumbler Swipe, it's not enough reach. Kataomi, though.
Easy catch, easy kill. No Ceaseless Scourge this time. And an AC is done now for the Tiny, so they've got a lot of physical damage.
Well, it does
pull together.
Yeah, obviously helps a lot versus the Slardar. Maybe help one of your allies not get burst down. Have this help up with Aura. Still,
oh my god.
Okay, goodbye. I mean, the good news is they're going to use the root on the Slardar mid.
Divide does not appear to care at all.
They're trying so desperately to burn his BKB, and
he is not doing a thing.
Zero cares. And, you know, they had this ob-centric combo for the longest time. It's going to be expiring here soon. I mean, they might even de-ward it. Yeah, there it goes. So many potential opportunities of lurking near this ward gone. This was your best chance as Boom Boys. Finding a fight up there with GPK in that area, and they could never find quite the right moment because of this positioning coming out of Nigma Galaxy. I mean, very defensive.
maybe like a coil tossback is the option.
I mean, they've hit the blinding light a couple times. They've managed to snap the coil. Something like that is definitely what you have to do.
But it doesn't feel like GPK is comfortable coming back to it yet. Now he's going to TP in, actually right on top of the Shadow Fiend's courier, interestingly enough. And as they see GPK TPing back, now they leave. Nigma not wanting to go high ground without the Aegis. 15 seconds till we don't know how long it's going to be.
How have we found 2 games in a row where one team seems like they can't make a move?
You know?
But I feel like Boom Boys are trying more, but they are failing equally as often.
Yes.
All right, they have vision on this Slardar. He's still sticking around. They're like, this guy farms pretty slow. We move pretty fast. Can we make it to Divine in time? It's like a tease right now. He's going to get this range group. He's going to get out, isn't he?
I mean, he also has a BKB, so like, he's not going to die.
He's getting away.
He's just going to run out.
They've smoked across the entire map, and he's gone.
They've scanned, they see that he left, and now there's not a dang thing they're going to be able to do about it.
Oh, double scans used too. The pain.
At least they're in position to come and contest for Roche, if nothing else. But yeah, this does not feel good for Boom Boys right now.
Okay, but
tell me. Give me something, anything. Need to find something
honestly,
for these guys.
I just clicked the HP pools of Slardar, Ember, and Shadow Fiend, and I just stopped dead in my tracks. They're each like 3K plus HP, like 2,800 on the Ember. They are tanky.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to think, like, can Heritage really burst them down? Like, does he have the damage to maybe have a big impact? And it's tough because the reinforcements are going to be quick.
Yes.
I mean, they don't have a mech or anything like that. They don't have a traditional save on the side of Nigma Galaxy this time, right?
What's our Crozier check? All right, we're getting there. Oh,
I thought, no, he gave up on it, didn't he? Yeah, he gave up.
Halberd instead? Ugh,
yeah.
God.
No, the Crozier was a bridge too far, he said.
Oh, man.
It was 3,300 gold too much.
Well, I mean, he's even with the Slardar in terms of farm.
Yeah. Ish.
That's an Aghanim Scepter done for the Mirana.
Gem coming out as well, just to secure their position on the map.
10,000 gold lead. It still could completely turn around with, just a little bit of bad positioning. I think that you can't underestimate how crazy these late game scenarios can turn into, particularly on the main stage TI.
Yeah, and if maybe you get forced into a play with the BKBs being down with Nigma, that could be doing something. Right. Mail again, though. No BKB. Maybe they hit everything perfectly. On the side of Boom Boys, you have the Undying save with this Tombstone. We don't have a similar tool on the side of Nigma Galaxy. Maybe that's what can do it.
Now tell me. It's hanging out by the trees. I mean, Roche is going to move in a minute and a half. Maybe we're just going to sit here until then. In the meantime, Shadow Fiend is getting bigger, by the way.
Yeah, they are not really losing out too much on the side of Nigma Galaxy as the Butterfly is now picked up for Sumail. And with a minute 20, yeah, they are good to head into the pit. All right, Heritage. He has waited, but a sitting rock gathers moss, so he wants to roll.
And Roche roars. They get some vision. They see Sumail, very, very tanky. Roche, half HP.
Heritage calculating, finding his angle.
Amplified damage is there, ready for a jump. They drop down the snakes. Now the walk-in, but he's not going to be able to do much. The jump forward, Avatar, and he snatches the Aegis. Heritage trying to put his team on the back, but I don't know if it's enough to carry. It's a hard one to make work. The Requiem comes out and Sumail destroys the arrow. Heritage also gonna fall. You can take the Aegis. You're not winning the fight.
You're not getting out of that one alive. At the very least, you remove it for a potential high ground push, but obviously things still going very much in the way of Nigma. Male king of that fight. No concerns about not having a BKB. Yeah, it gives up the Aegis because of it. That's A-okay for them. They're now pushing up high ground. No snakes available. Chuck the Anaconda.
Building goes down. In spite of the creep wave being gone, they are still going to be able to take
look at Divide down bottom.
Set of racks.
He's stalking GBK.
The hunt wants him. Jumps forward. Crush. Bash. Damage. Trying to get out of there. He's nullified. And they find him here.
He's gonna watch him farm.
Yeah, I mean, he's waiting for his Blink Dagger to come back up again. Wants to chase this guy down. GPK over to the side. GH is there. Arrow out, and hello, there are more friends. As GH finds that kill, another set of racks taken while that was happening.
I mean, what can you do? There's no option, right? You're just dead.
Well, as we have seen many times, it appears that this TI is for 3 games on the big stage, barring some type of miraculous comeback for Boom Boys.
One would certainly be a banger of a comeback, but I mean, they had their moment. They tried, they set something up, did their calculations with the best option.
Jamil's completely alone.
Okay, well, will he get punched?
This is what they need. They've got to get something here. Can they blow him up in time? No! Satanic turn the disarm. Well, the Halberd not doing what he wants. As the fear is there onto Miero. A couple more punches saved by the tombstone. But Sumail, the king, he's strong. A triple from Renov, and GG is called. Nigma push it to a game 3.
If they don't have their tools available, they're not going to be able to win that fight. They needed the coil snap there. Everything else was set up, right? They got the big toss back, but with GBK being dead, they don't have enough to take them down. The BKB-less build from Sumail still makes him very powerful here. And he really did king carry on that one.
An impressive performance and a big comeback in this series. And now for Boom Boys, you can see Save not really too flummoxed by that one, understanding that there's just better luck next time. It feels like, again, the draft playing a huge role in this and really determining whether or not they were able to make the games happen as Nigma tie us up, push us to a game 3.
There you go. That's what we wanted to see. The Lorinov Ember Spirit having a great time in this game and both teams getting to play their game. Well, one team maybe a little bit more than the other is Nigma Galaxy. Take this one. We're tied. We're going to a game 3. Like, to be fair, we were kind of expecting to the way the games have been going on this main stage. A lot to break down here with Rhea, Winter, and Tigov. Tigov, this game looked so much more comfortable for Nigma Galaxy. You could tell that comfort was the name of the game.
Yeah, I mean, the roles were swapped this time around. I feel like the game that we had in game 1 kind of was the same for 2, but, you know, Nigma, they were the ones finding the pickoffs. Instantly, I'm just going to give a massive shout out to Omar. I'm probably going to highlight him later on as well, some graphics, but I feel like him on his Shadow Shaman, a hero that we don't see picked up by many other players. Of course, into the puck, it's kind of like a historical matchup that allows you for the pickoff, but the way that he kept hunting around the map, finding these kills, enabling the SF or the Slada or the Mirana or the Ember, I think he played an exceptional game and did such a good job at keeping his team alive in the International.
Yeah, of course. You know, the Shaman just had a lot of openings set up for his team. He was able to, you know, get the towers as well really, really quickly, use the Anaconda, and yeah, created a lot of pressure on the Boom Boys side here.
Yeah, this was a cool game to see where we saw everything come together for Nigma Galaxy. From the start to the finish, it did feel smooth. It was still not the fastest game, Rhea, that we've ever seen. Still a bit slow here and there.
36 minutes.
Yeah.
It was faster than the average, but it was
Yay.
but it was slow. Yeah, I think it's difficult to push into an Underlord, first of all. It's also not like Boom Boys were kind of getting crushed and had no net worth. I think they were still gaining items, just obviously at a slower rate than Nigma. So you just want to play it carefully and slowly. I think Nigma were trying to place their wards more offensively on the side of Boom Boys map, whilst if you looked at Boom Boys warding, it was very defensive. So they were just stuck in this idea of we have to farm. We're just going to like try and defend our areas and get what we can. And then Nigma did look for those picks, and they did get them, to be fair. They just were a little bit staggered out.
Yeah, Lorinov as the MVP.
Onyx,
You got it,
Onyx, no, I'm not standing for this.
Omar, wait, he got first pick. He got first pick, and that meant that GPK could choose what he wants to play against December, and he still won.
There.
Oh my gosh.
All right, he's the GOAT. 4-0-10 Shadow Shaman, sorry, my golly gosh. No, this is the true MVP. 31 wards placed, 6 wards destroyed. That kill participation, probably if you look at the first 20 minutes, was like a lot higher, but still, he's my GOAT. No more Korf, happiness and Lorinov this, Lorinov that. Let's give a bit of love to the other lads that make Lorinov look good.
You guys are coping. The true MVP is the person that clicked the heroes, Kuroki.
Oh.
Yeah.
Without him,
we got a game 3 for Kuroki.
Without him, none of this would have been possible.
Right.
The draft was very instrumental. I mean,
Yeah.
we saw in game number 1 as well that was part of the reason, maybe the only reason why they didn't do so well. I mean, we got to give them credit where credit's due. If we're going to be critical of a game like game 1 to be draft related, then this one Winter is as well.
Yeah, I think on the Boom Boy side, they had kind of like a very small window I don't think their draft was like bad or any means. I think everything looked logical. They have some decent heroes in the lanes. They just like, I think, lost one crucial fight in the rune and everything just snowballed from there.
Yeah, we can take a look at a couple of the moments that we had in the game. First things first, though, if we're talking about supports being MVP, you got to talk about the vision they provide, right?
Yeah, and this one comes not from Nigma Galaxy, it actually comes from Boom Boys. They placed this really nice ward. I think the Observer highlighted it in game especially. They basically placed it on their mid tower. Like typically you'll see people place vision like on the river to catch the runes, but this one was placed on the tower, and because of that they kind of see Omar's movements behind the tower. You see it get pinged out. This would not be possible without that ward, because usually there's a blind spot between the tier 1 and tier 2. So it's just, I think it's a very cool ward, and it's very interesting because it's not that typically placed.
No, you have to place those words, and the little things definitely do matter, and big things matter too. Fights matter too. You highlighted the fight you were talking about just a little bit earlier.
Yeah, it was a little bit after that ward. That ward was at 6 minutes, but at 10 minutes, the rune fight, we expected a lot of fights happening because of the runes when you have a Puck against Ember matchup. I think here, the key thing was Nigma, I believe, brought more heroes. The SF came over, whereas Kiritich didn't choose to come. I think they really, really needed Kiritich to be here to just throw a spell, throw a stun or do something, or tank, The Puck, he needed to win this fight. I think if they won this rune fight, they got the rune, or maybe just get some kills, the game could have been completely different. But because Kiritich chose not to come, and Sumil came over to help his team, and that was the difference maker, in my opinion. That started the snowball.
Yeah. And then from there on out, it's rough goings for Boom Boys, with one person in particular that we talked about a lot already. Got one of the MVPs there as well. Tigo.
We're doing it again?
Yeah, you go.
No, come on. No,
You got it. You got it.
Do it again.
Do it again.
Do it again. Omar.
Yes.
Hey, see, look, kill participation, 80%. I told you that it'd be better if we looked earlier in the game, and that's why production was like, you know what, let's help this lad out. Let's show bigger numbers for Omar. I've already made my case, lads. I'm not going to try and do it again.
Okay.
He's my goat.
I mean, with that logic, if I'm playing Zeus and I have 100% kill participation, but I'm in the jungle farming. So
yeah, luckily they nerfed that.
All right?
Okay, they nerfed that for a reason, because you fake, pad statin players, we got rid of them. So yeah, we're in the clear.
Okay, well, I'll give another point for Omar then.
Yes, please.
I think Winter actually pointed this out while we were just watching the game together, is that on the dire side of the map, right beneath their base, there's those two camps, right? You know the one Lone Druid always farms in with his main guy? Yeah. They placed a ward there on the side of Nigma Galaxy, and they saw the hero, they can see heroes move through that, so they know where they're going out onto the map. And as a result, Omar is able to go and hunt for Puck at the bottom side of his map, because typically you don't want to be giving up map space by moving all the way back there, but because they know heroes are going down there with their amazing, excellent warding, thank you supports, they're able to go look for that kill, snatch it up, and then continue on their way to victory.
People say it's quite difficult to choke out the map, but it's like once you take the tier 1 towers, the best vision to place is at the entry of the river spots, because when you die, you're not going to TP back to base. You're going to run to the river and then go down, or you're going to go to a jungle camp. So it's like having that type of vision is the best way to choke out the map, to have that type of pick-off understanding and to have the heroes to do it. So yeah, just great understanding from Nigma to utilize it.
Yeah, not a lot of plays for Boom Boys to make during this game. And with that in mind, we're going to find out a little bit more about how Miro tried to play this game as we head over to Purge.
Thank you, Shiver. Yeah, Miro had two rough laning stages in both games, actually. In this first game as Axe, he left the lane early against a Wind Ranger and didn't really come back, but eventually caught up farming. And we have kind of a similar situation here in game number 2. Miro focused a lot on blasting waves, which normally you don't actually want to do against the enemy carry because it pushes the waves into them. It makes it safer for them to hit last hits and things like that. So you're going to see him using Firestorm. On this, it's going to do a little damage to Shadow Fiend. Some of his creeps are going to get denied, but he'll get some of the farm. He's basically conceding, like, my lane sucks. I know that going into this. I'm just going to do the best I can, and I'm going to try to catch up in farming later. They even had one really good kill opportunity against the Shadow Fiend a little bit later after this because they had a good opportunity to go for this kill. And this was a decent opportunity for them. If they did kill Shadow Fiend, this would have been great. But Shadow Fiend just has so much more damage than most offlaners, so you just can't really trade with him in most cases. Save ended up getting a nice double kill here with the blast. So that was really good for Save in the lane. But if we see the pressure that comes from the MVP, Omar. He's looking for disables. They're going to have arrow follow-ups. It's very, very difficult for them to respond to this. So the pressure that's coming from Nigma Galaxy is making it really hard for Miero to actually lane stabilize. Now, we're going to jump a lot later in the game. His net worth was much lower. Look at it now. It's decent. He's sitting the same level as Slardar, which is good because he can farm a lot. But the problem is that, yes, he caught up, but at some point he needs to impact the game in a really positive way. He did that in game 1 as Axe, but in game 2, it's a lot harder. And this was the probably crucial point of the game where Boom Boys had spent all of their catch-up time looking for a good fight. And this nice catch from Omar, throwing the shard up on the high ground, spotting the puck, breaking his Aeon Disc. This broke Boom Boys' attempt to a team fight because now no Aeon Disc on puck. All the farming that Miero didn't really accomplish much at this point for the rest of the game.
Thank you very much, Pert. Now both teams are fighting for a survival here with Game 3 coming our way very soon. Before we get there, though, we have got a little time to breathe, a little bit of time to maybe check out a certain website where you can get yourself a mini Largo or Rhea.
My little Roshan.
Not that one in particular, though.
Oh, turn it around. Invoker wasn't doing. Invoker wasn't doing well today, so we'll show Snapfire instead. The Roshan is amazing, though. That is probably from the ones. Yeah, it's Roshan and Courier are.
That's part of the Roshan. You took his honey.
I am so sorry. I can't walk. There you go. Take it. There you go. I was wondering what it was. I was holding. Yeah, there you go.
I love
Beautiful.
you.
Also, this is a bag. I took it.
Look, what do I have?
It's a bag. You can.
And there's bags on the bag. They have clips. You can actually put stuff in the little orange bags.
You can, but it seems like that actually closes pretty well. So I figured I'd not open it as to not. It's actually a shoulder.
Where's my gem? Give me my gem.
1 second, I'm looking inside. No, no gem.
No gem. Maybe
not yet. Can't afford it.
Maybe it's one
I haven't actually. I haven't got enough gold to upgrade the courier.
I think it was Saksa stole my gem.
Yeah, of course. Right.
I would like no violence towards the couriers, please.
Yeah, this is the bag strap, by the way, guys, not the guts of the courier, just in case.
Stop!
You're wondering.
You can get your own. Of course, you'll get not that one, but you
can get this one
if you go to the perfect world.
Yeah. Oop, there you go.
You know where to find it by now. Make sure you check out our secret shop as we are preparing for our final game in the series of this elimination between Nigma Galaxy and Boom Boys. We've seen both teams take a game off each other. Very different styles. And that leaves me with a very simple question, Rhea. What's happening next?
Game 3, I think.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened over there, but there was a little bit of a moment shared there with Omar and GH.
That's awesome. To be fair, though, after game 1, Croaky was giving quite an important speech. Like it felt like he was honestly speaking from the heart.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't know what he was saying, but
I know. I'm gonna tell you, guys. It's my fault. I messed up the draft. You guys are the best. Yeah. Don't worry about it.
But that's the thing. I love the fact that after the defeat, Kuroki stepped up, had a conversation. You could see it on camera. Now after game 2, the win, there's no need for that speech. It's kind of like back to why we're here. We know what we're doing. There's no need to overthink things. It's just calm. You can let the players do as they wish. So it's like you talk when you need to talk, and then you let the players do the thing when it's going well. So yeah, I think it's just you can just see the vibes going well now for Nigma.
Yeah, we see Save talk a lot on the side of Boom Boys. Of course, a very experienced voice. He seems to be having a smile across his face also while he's chatting. So I would imagine pretty good spirits there as well. It's not the first time they've been in this situation. Not their first rodeo with the 1-1 on the main stage with elimination on the line. I'm sure that they also got what it takes. Same thing for Nigma Galaxy. One game to decide who takes it home, or rather, who takes it to the last series of the day, because that is what is awaiting for the victor of this third and deciding game. Two very different games have been played so far, and I would imagine that we're going to take the best of both worlds potentially for that third game of this series to decide which one will come out on top. And Winter, where are you going to look to? Because we've seen in that second game, which I think we can learn maybe a little bit more of compared to game number 1, we've seen Nigma Galaxy, they insta-locked that Ember Spirit for Lorinov. They prioritized that comfort. Do you want to see that again?
And I didn't really like Boom Boys opening with the Kotal so much. I felt like that kind of really didn't work out. Maybe they had some other plan in mind and it got messed up somewhere along the way. But they need to do something different here. And I agree with the Ember needs to be higher priority.
But I don't really get with Boom Boys in game 2, right? When you first phase the Coddle, in the next phase, like, why are you going for like, the puck there? Why not go for like the Slardar plus another support that has some catch? You can flex the Slardar a little bit longer between off lane to mid. You then see what's happening elsewhere in the draft, and then you utilize GPK. I feel like taking the puck so early, sure, you see the Ember, but now there's a Shaman and a Slardar to deal with GPK. The way that GPK thrives is like, if there's only one solution to him, Boom Boys can find ways to deal with it, and GPK can take over games by himself. The amount of times that we spoke about his puck just being auto-win is insane. But the fact that they kind of sacrificed him so early because they saw Lauren off Ember, if anything, that kind of, you fall into their trap. Like, so I'm not too impressed with this, like, early phase puck. Like, if it was later in the draft, sure. If it was on 18, great. But the fact that they put it straight away in the early phase, not my fan.
I want to talk about Devi, who was just on the screen as well. I don't know if this man is a genius or a fool, okay? We've seen everyone being so greedy on the offlane hero builds. I spoke last game about the Centaur going Blink second item and how that was a little bit faster than usual, but he also went Blink second item on Slardar this game. He didn't opt for anything smaller or more team-oriented in terms of like, there's no drum, there's no Echo Saber, there's no like scaling item here, it's just straight Blink. And I think we saw in that game, it didn't always go well. One of the nicest fights that Boom Boys got was when he initiated on Kotal and didn't have the damage to kill him because he had not, built to have that damage. And they got like 2 kills off of that. But at the same time, he is getting involved. He is not taking money from his other cores. It's like, I don't know if this is...
That's Divine in a nutshell.
Yeah, like what is going on?
I mean, he always wants to be aggressive. Like every time you play against him, even when he first started playing Dota, like his enjoyment was like he wants to beat you in the lane. He wants to take a 5,000 gold lead and then just obliterate you. Like the reason why he was on D2 Hustlers leading the charge, bringing them into DBC was because of this mindset.
And you need to know when to do it. I think he's so far matured a lot. He's improved a lot as a player. Like he can be sacrificed. He can be the priority in the draft. And I think he is a totally different person right now.
Yeah, he got overall last pick in that draft. And it showed that he felt comfortable on the Slardar. And it showed that Nigma Galaxy took this one. Let's find out what's going to happen in the last game.
Nigma Galaxy versus Boom Boys. Game 3.
It's over or under, do or die. Deciding game 3 of this lower bracket match, the International. Getting eliminated here. Still top 6, still not bad, but of course, making it top 4 at least for Boom Boys would be rivaling their same position that they were last year. For Nigma Galaxy, it would mean surpassing that same result they got last year. And I know you didn't like the Keeper of the Light first pick, but we get it again anyway. Book says that was not the problem.
Oh, they left through Earth Spirit instead.
They did. Woohoo.
I think maybe they want to put Lauren off on it so he can't play his like Embers and stuff.
Yeah, that is pretty much the kind of the bluff Boom Boys are playing. We've seen your Earth Spirit from yesterday. We don't think we're very impressed. And
they don't fall for it.
Exactly.
No.
Well, they also don't care.
Yeah.
How does Ember do against an Earth Spirit? I would imagine actually we're going to see Nigma Galaxy banning out their Earth Spirit in the next phase.
In the lane, Earth Spirit does, I think, slightly better. I think Ember is kind of good against the Earth Spirit maybe later in the game when you have the chains to catch him. And when you have the Mage Slayer, but in the lane itself, I think Earth Spirit is a little bit happier in the matchup. Like he just has a lot of damage, so he can win the lane.
Again, for me, I just don't want to see Boom Boys early pick their hero here. I want the Slardar. I still want to see this concept be applied. Like the early phase part, giving Omar and Devi all this information, it just...
I mean, it's not just that, it's like the combination of heroes. Like, what are you pairing with the Keeper of the Light? Was the Undying the issue, or was the Puck the issue?
Probably both, to be fair, and so depending on who you're talking to.
Yeah, whatever it is, they need to come to the same conclusion as a team. Like, what do we do? They're going to make some adjustments here, and we're going to see it.
Beastmaster once again gets removed.
So if they were comfortable with it, they can take the Marana again.
They probably will. If they won the game, everything felt good.
Yeah, on the side of Nigma Galaxy, why would you change anything? You are expecting maybe a curveball to come out from Boom Boys.
think the only difference is now they don't have a Shadow Fiend to work towards, and Nature's Prophet's also gone. I think Drow has felt worse, so I'm not sure if I would want that.
Yeah, they'll probably be leaning towards like Klings or an Elk, you know, for Sumil.
Yeah.
I mean, those are heroes that he's really, really comfortable with.
I mean, you take the Mirana because if you lean towards Omar's heroes, like a Clock or something, then you are going to struggle a little bit at kind of counter picking, down the line.
Okay.
Hey, there's that Slark.
Sure. Okay, so they go for the Slark that was spoke about in game 1 against the Ember, and that it doesn't need to be with the Eye based on what Vision was doing, and Boom Boys go, you know what? We can do what Vision does, and they're going to do it as well. So yeah, Slark to the mid lane to counter the Ember. It is an instant response, but the difference is picking Puck to Ember, and why I didn't like it was like it doesn't crush the Ember in the lane. Slark, it crushes it in the lane, so sure, you can...
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Genuinely. I think it was literally Boom Boys who played it against Aurora in group stage, and they both had the same amount of net worth by the end of the laning stage.
It's a volatile lane, I think. If you play well as the Ember, you definitely have a way to maybe even kill the
But
slot.
just create those problems. Force Nigma to make Lorinov go, what am I doing? Am I dragging waves? Like, don't allow him just to play a normal game, because that's when they will shine.
And I would say that it's more important for the slug to win the lane. Because if he doesn't win the lane in this matchup, then he's going to contribute less later into the game. Like Ember Spirit, you get your levels, you don't lose your lane, you can set up for the arrows, you're going to be way more useful than the slug later.
Does have a 100% win rate, so there's that.
Yeah, I think Aurora through the game that they played against Boom Boys, because they had a really big lead against the Slark when they last played it, and they had a Night Stalker in that game. Like, I think looking at Boom Boys lineup already, I really like the idea of a Night Stalker. It's so good against Coddle, Slark, and Bane. You want to be able to see these two supports because they are extremely position-based. Slark gets his regen from hiding, right? You're kind of exposing all three of these heroes if you can have that night vision.
It is a very good option. Yeah, I mean, for both teams. I mean, I feel like a lot of these drafts, like you look at the hero and go, why is Night Stalker not played more? But
right?
It's probably certain players just aren't as comfortable on it, and maybe the teams that got eliminated in groups, they would have looked at it.
Yeah, and we've heard from Saber that it does feel a little extra bad if there's just one item, the Essence Distiller, that just kind of ruins a large portion of the...
Hey, that's my vision. Why'd you have it?
Yeah. Gives a big advantage.
I mean, it's just a classic Bane counter. Unit heroes, like Bane doesn't do much, you know, against unit heroes. I mean, the Kotal is also kind of vulnerable, even though it's not as bad as Bane. But Boom Boys are going to have to address this unit hero in the next pick.
And also, Slark wants to naturally play at nighttime, Bane wants to play at nighttime. So now you have Lycan, so you can play around How at nighttime, and you kind of like, if Boom Boys are playing for pickoffs, Lycan can help
it's
anywhere.
also annoying because of the Wolf. The Wolf is just going to follow you, and then you don't get your regen as well.
Wow, okay.
Okay, that's the Lycan counter.
More fish!
Yes, Shiva.
They just go for
are you
Slardar.
hungry or have you had lunch?
Go for Slardar as your offlaner, and then you got the trifecta.
I'm sure there's a stat on that somewhere, but yeah. For Boom Boys, though, taking the Kiritich Nagasari in the carry role. When you think about Lycan, of course, earlier, Yotoro played the Terrorblade against it and was able to beat it quite nicely. Nagasari slots in quite nicely behind the Terrorblade as the solution to Lycan. You kind of put him on a timer. If you don't break my map within the first 30, 35, I will eventually be so unkillable that your Lycan does nothing.
But it has a 0% win rate so far, and it is a very unorthodox hero to pull out, and especially ballsy considering this could potentially be their final game.
Yeah, you also have a Naga Slark core duo right now, which I don't like at all.
It's very weird the way their heroes are going to function. I mean, with the Bane, I think it's still fine. You run around as Bane alone to look for kills, and then the illusions are around. You grip someone, maybe you can kill him. So I can see that maybe working out. But in the early stages, it won't be so easy for Boom Boys to play the map compared to Nigma. It's very straightforward. You have Helm, you follow the Helm hero, he's going to push towers, you have team fight and save with the Ringmaster, and you just group up and you attack. Very simple. Whereas for Boom Boys, it's definitely going to be on the harder side to execute their lineup.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's on Mira to find his hero that can just enable some of this aggression from their side. And by aggression, I mean Slark beating the Ember in lane and then getting to play through the off lane, and then you have a game to play. Oh, and you look back over your shoulder. Oh, thanks, Nagasari. You have your items. But Lifestealer is a good ban, especially when Mira wants to naturally play these kind of like beefier, tankier heroes. That's kind of just what they need. Someone to stand there and go, I can take your tower at some point, be it through Helm of Dom, whatever, but I need to look towards Miro having like this kind of 15-minute window of the game that he is like a main character for Boom Boys. He can't just be some like AFK scaling hero. Otherwise, then yes, their draft will just look quite lost.
Can he just be a tank, like a Tidehunter, like some team fight hero?
Yeah, if he rushes like Ags first item, doesn't go wraps, that type of thing, then I can see it working out.
I really like Tide, mostly for the shard.
Yeah, against Ember.
Yeah, against Ember especially. I do want to lightly touch on the Lycan again, is that even when Ace played it earlier and it didn't look too hot, I think the number one thing it was able to provide was vision. Like, I was looking for a Night Stalker, something that could find the supports. Lycan does the same thing. Even after getting horribly stomped in lane, this hero has 2 wolves that are invis, and you can set them to follow command on heroes, and they will just, follow them until they die. And this is something that you can use to scout supports in fight. This is something you can use to block ancient camps. It's something you can use to have impact even when your lane is bad.
And the Tidehunter that was mentioned is now eliminated from the draft, as Nigma Galaxy had the same read on the heroes as you would. Actually, you know what? Tidehunter is also a big fish. It would have also fit. That would be nice, but no.
He eats the fish.
Yeah, but he is like also a creature of the depths. Sort of. No, definitely.
So the only thing remaining definitely has to be Slada.
There you go.
Yeah.
No, which other heroes are coming to mind? Because we want something with the stun. We want something that is allowing Boom Boys to be active early.
I mean, so Centaur isn't like crazy active, but you buy Helm of Dome, you can play on catapult waves and take towers, and then you eventually have this like Heart and Crimson Guard. And how do you kill anyone?
How about an unpicked hero, Bristleback? Kotal, Bristleback. Bristleback is great against Lycan.
All that Boom Boys need to do is buy time for Naga to get like 3 items.
We have said
pick anything that can do that.
Miero is the most versatile offlaner of this international, with the deepest pockets that he's actually shown on the main stage. And it will just be the stable Centaur. All right.
He reached very deeply, a whole half a centimeter into his front pocket.
I'm so sorry for the boring one, but it is.
It's boring because it's good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Makes sense.
The damage on Boom Boys, though, is extremely lackluster. Their entire concept is we are going to outplay you in lanes that enables us to get to our items.
Ooh, new hero!
Oh, this
all right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sumil, Lesh? Harry Lesh?
Yeah.
They're ramping up the tempo here. They see the fact that Boom Boys, they don't have the damage. They don't have the way to like take the fight to them after the laning phase. They need a bit of scaling. So that's where Nigma, they take the carry Leshrac. They have an offlane like an Ember. Like, these are heroes that will just run through the map and try and take over a game.
Do you think they're going to lane swap here and put the Shrek against the mid Slark?
It is possible. I mean, the way that Nigma lanes is like, they could technically do anything because all 3 cores are willing to do anything for the win. So if they see the lane matchup and go, yes, put Lesh into Slark mid, we will win that lane, they're gonna do it.
Guys, the stars are aligning.
The stars are
The stars are seemingly aligned.
They're so cool for this, honestly. I think Lesh is it'd be so fun to watch.
It's such a great pick. It's really good against Naga. It's really good against Slark. It works with their lineup. There's a save. Like, whenever you play Lesh, you want to have a save so that you can play aggressive and you can always be bailed out. And I love this combination here from Nigma Galaxy.
If the Lesh goes mid, is there any other lane shenanigans that Boom Boys can do to try and, move their Slark away? Because it's not just bad, it's pretty horrendous, no?
They don't really have the same fun and flexibility as Nigma does. So I feel like it's just kind of like you have what you've drafted yourself now. You've got to deal with it.
Oh, you remember we had the mid Centaurs? Put mid Centaur offlane Slark against the Ember?
Between Slark, Naga, and Centaur, none of them are going to go to the Lesh lane and go, haha, we got you, Leshrac. It's like,
that's true.
There's no value, so they might just have to accept it. But I mean, for Nigma Galaxy, they've got heroes that they want. They got the pacing that they naturally play for.
Yep.
My only concern is like, I'm going to start a timer, and when it hits 30 minutes, the game will get like infinitely harder for them. So I am, unless they have like, of course, like some 20,000 gold lead, but yeah, I am looking for them to just dominate the early to mid game. This is what their draft is for.
So average game time, for people wondering, is like 46 minutes 55 seconds. You want them to have that, and then they easy win.
If they get to the average TI duration, I'm worried.
We're going to find out. It's one game in between advancement and elimination. Let's see who comes out on top as we head over to our commentary duo of Trent and Lyrical.
Thank you so much, Sheever. Man, I'm not going to lie, Trent. I was worried I saw this Slark. I saw the Nagasar. And I was like, oh God, this is going to be terrible. And then the Leshrac comes out at the end.
It's very exciting.
I cannot wait to watch this game. It's going to be so awesome.
Yeah, if you are not in the know, it's an absolute classic for Sumail to bring out this Leshrac. And also, it just has a lot of historical counters to these heroes that they've picked up on the side of Boom Boys. So a really good pick here.
A really awesome one indeed, and out across the map they will go. Let's see what the lane dynamics end up looking like, if there are any of those switch ups.
Yep.
As it looks like he does have Fairy Fire, all the normal things you'd anticipate, and the Naga-Siren illusions go out. They find them immediately. Gonna kill them all.
If you are newer to the world of Dota, back in the year of TI5, when Sumail won his TI, this was the hero. It was Leshrac. Not necessarily for him specifically, because the hero dominated so much, it just got banned over and over again until we reached that last day. And there became this battle of who can actually play the Leshrac. The forced out ban occurred, and well, we found out Shiki couldn't play Leshrac. That's am I correct on my lore here, Lyrical?
I mean, I think that sounds about right.
There is deeper lore though, folks. For when they invented the Dota Plus levels, I was watching some Chinese pubs one lone night in my basement, and who do I see as a Grandmaster Leshrac?
Who was it?
Bashiki.
Oh,
they left a scar on that man.
Well, this might be the last time that Shiki is ever mentioned on a Dota 2 TI broadcast, but it shouldn't be.
The king here, Mr. Sumail, though, he is back. He is on the Leshrac, and he is taking it to the safe lane. There was a lot of questions. Where's he going to go? Because historically, lane matchup into the Slark, game matchup, it's a very bad time for the Slark. You have a lot of damage that's able to catch this hero through his more evasive techniques of his ulti. But they are going to get the matchup that they had hoped for. And learn off handle the pressure of the Slark versus Ember.
Something to watch for indeed. And this is for anybody that didn't see some of the earlier games. I mean, I'm seeing people all over Twitter and just like all over Reddit saying like, just ban the freaking Slark when you're playing Ember.
Just ban!
Just get it out of here.
What they sound like?
Apparently.
Okay, yep.
And I mean, Loranoff feeling like, you know what, we have what it takes. We're going to be able to battle off against it. We'll see if they're correct. Is down in that top lane, there's a lot of pressure already being mounted onto Miro and Save. But of course, this is the other thing about like Ember as a hero, is you mainly just need to get those levels up. So as long as every creep isn't being denied out like GPK is doing, things will be fine.
Yeah, you get a better time here. But they've got their heroes. It's locked in. It's game 3. It's elimination mode. Lyrical, we got to lock in. This is potentially the end of the road here for these two teams.
Right. And I mean, if Sumail is to believe potentially the end of the road, that player as well, who's to say? But we will get ourselves into this match, and GPK already good start to this 7-5 versus the 3-0.
With the wave coming in, this is looking like the counter pick so far is doing a good job. He gets a dignity deny on Lornoff, but boy, it costs you half your health.
That does not feel good at all. Level 3 already on GPK. But this is what they sort of knew, that this at least was possible.
So what have they gotten in return, though? They have the Slark versus the Ember, but what are the problems that exist in this draft? Aside from that for the Boom Boys, I think part of it would be the Bane, to me, I think is pretty heavily countered this game. He's laning into the Lycan, which is a bit of a classic counter because you can deal with the Nightmare since you've got summons. So that's always a very handy tool. He's going to be trying to roam around at nighttime, trying to set up these kills like you heard the panel mentioning. The Wolves are going to be keeping an eye on this guy. They will be stalking him through the jungle, and Bane's value oftentimes in the mid-game is almost entirely roaming around setting up Fiend scripts. So if you have your own tool of vision on the enemy team and you catch him going for these plays, especially when he doesn't know that he's been caught because there's an invisible wolf following him, suddenly he can be wasting minutes at a time.
They're having a good time as up top they're moving on to save. GH chasing around the tree, and Miro keeps his buddy alive. That was very close to a kill. Wisely, GH backs out from the Centaur.
Even passing them a tango.
The helper.
Beautiful stuff there. Bottom. Also getting a little bit low here with the illusions following.
And just a lot of summons hitting away. You know, Lycan, definitely a hero that we have not seen a ton of at this tournament. We did see during the earlier stages WS play a couple of really good Lycans. Omar now being chased down by the Naga-Siren illusions and gonna maybe hope to back out, but they do have a Nightmare here. Throws out one dagger, now the blood grenade, trying to buy it. The fear, the catch, and woo, Katomi dodges away from that one. That was close.
The Wolves are coming.
And can they eat him alive? Katomi, you gotta run the wolves.
Got a tango.
He has a brain sap too. Doesn't want to have to use it, but they're actually blocking him all the way in and almost
Omar's back.
managed to find it. Yeah, the dagger comes out. Katomi needs to run away. I mean, he has no resources at all right now.
Omar had a whip there, but was just a little low on the mana, I guess. And, well, he ends up using it now, but maybe felt like the dagger was just going to get the kill. I think he could have ran in for the whip too.
All right, lanes. Mid, not good for Ember. Only 6 last hits.
Yeah, oh boy, maybe we shouldn't have looked away, huh? That is, that's a bad time. Counterpick success.
I mean, it's 3/4 of a level ahead, 18 denies.
And, you know, you're stuck on this 2 points of the Flame Guard for quite a while, obviously. Get all the way up to that level 5 before you can be a little bit more confident heading into the jungle. What kind of tools do they have to actually continue that pressure in the jungle? The Bane, maybe a little bit later on. I mean, the Coddle position 4 isn't that threatening, so maybe he'll get a little bit of space. I wouldn't mind seeing those camps get blocked out if they find an opportunity on the side of Boom Boys, but seems a little unlikely with the lineup they've got.
Illuminating Blast as Miero tries to run him down a bit, but GH not gonna run into any issues there. Hasn't leveled up the arrow actually, just all Star Storm for the damage.
And you can see they don't have any vision on Cat Only for a while. They start scanning their twin gate on the side of Nigma Galaxy. So they're worried about this Bane rotating through. He's gonna drop a ward down. This looks like a Bane rotation. So they're gonna try and set something up here onto Sumail, or not. Back he goes.
Just setting it up for later.
Yeah, just he's thinking about it.
I mean, it would be appropriate that we're 5 minutes into this and no first blood with these way these two teams have played.
Yep.
It's been very chill. Oh, is this an opportunity?
I mean, they're trying, hoping maybe they force it a Dark Pact or something, but I mean, he's 2 points in the Slight and 2 points in the Flame Guard, so Lornov doesn't have a whole lot to offer you right now. Just the hope at a rune would be great.
Yeah, because it has been, he's hungry, you know? Only 11 Haslets to the 24 denies of the Slark, while Katomi takes out the Observer Ward. So this was the plan. Boom Boys, move in, shut down that mid-Ember.
Check.
The second part of that plan, get Kiritich items, make him into this, like, impossible to deal with force. How long does that take?
It's kind of a never-ending journey, really. You know, as all Nagasiren players know, there's no like end to the farm and you know, consuming that this hero wants to do. But in terms of being like a full-on force, I think you want to flex that force once the objectives start to come out here. You know, first Roche, first Tormentor, maybe you're not quite there yet. But heading into the second Roche, that's when you really feel the power of the Nagasiren to be like, oh wow, wait, like if she's just left alone, can't really fight. And she's hoping to take over the game around that like 30-minute mark, I'd say.
Wow.
Slow burn.
And towards mid, BK gonna pop the ulti, chasing Loren off. They force out a TP rotation. And keeping that pressure on. It's gonna be the tower taking some damage as the full wave is gonna go into it. In the meantime, some battles potentially a brewing. Miero goes down. Sumail takes the first blood here at the 7-minute mark. And in the meantime, Katomi comes in to try and sneak in. He body blocks him off.
Nice.
Oh, wow. That was so well done. So Katomi be able to dodge away from that. But now GPK comes in. Omar, where you going, sir? Tried to get denied. Not going to happen.
Body blocks.
And Devi. He wants to escape, but there's nobody there to help him. The TPs are not coming, sir. As GPK makes the move around, the lane bleed has started. Although,
it's Sumail.
It's moving in, and with that TP, it's enough to force Boom Boys back.
Costly, though.
Yes.
Having to bring your carry all the way down here. I mean, there is some farm nearby. I guess no one else on the team can take it, but he's not even level 6 yet. He is just going to straight up run back up top.
That feels bad.
Yeah. Not what they were hoping for.
This is what you got to do is Loren off. Like, just don't give them an easy way. Cut the waves. Yep. Try and find something for yourself. Find a better life.
Got to get a little bit creative here. I mean, net worth-wise, not the worst, but yeah, that one really hurts. That's how you get back into it, right? Picking up some of these runes. Obviously, the mid-Slark, not having the bottle, not as concerned about runes necessarily, so Bottle happy just to make sure that you were stealing that one away from the Ember Spirit. Out there by Save. How do you feel about Save being back on the Coddle again?
I'm not the biggest fan, to be honest. I really like him on either the Save heroes or something like his Rubik. That starts to feel pretty good. But so far, it appears to have been working and setting Nero up for a good time. Also building up those stacks.
I think Coddle is very Rubik-esque in some ways, in the sense that there's a lot of items you can build on this hero, and the Aghanim Scepter some games as well becomes this like dominant team fight control, especially paired with the Naga Scepter. The AoE, just security that they can have in one space is pretty ridiculous. Much like Rubik, like knowing all the enemy spells as well for the spell steal, I find Coddle's very similar too, because in the middle of a fight, you want to be tracking these spells for good chakras, you know? Like, you don't have to like talk to your teammates, you know? The fight's busy enough already. We got to keep the clear calm, so when you can notice exactly like what a good chakra can do to turn a fight, that's all really important to get the most out of these heroes.
Katomi there interrupting the Ember, who was going in for some pressure, but this is a nice move. As Lorenov has level 6, they're ready to start pressuring and taking down that tower. Divide has had a very good game so far.
Yeah, this is the Lycan hack tech of taking the Dark Troll Summoner. It is by far the best creep you can get on this hero because of the Feral Impulse, and you can knock down a tier 2 tower so quickly.
Oh, nice slight dodge there for Lorenov.
Okay, he's gaming.
Able to do some good stuff, and you can't deny all the creeps.
And look at the Dark Trolls. They're just running in mid here with the Lycan.
So this is, you know, granted, Ember feels real bad to be him. The rest of these heroes seem to be having an okay time, and in fact, as they wrap around onto save, Blinding Light back up in a moment, and that's going to keep him alive. But then Divide just decides, I'm going over to the towers. They do lose GH.
And this is the cheese of this hero. Summon some Skellies, have a Feral Impulse, and just knock down tier 1s and even tier 2s. They will bring enough heroes to drive him back, though. Of course, with a Keeper of the Light, you'd think, oh, we can defend these towers, surely, but it's just a very cheap play for Divide.
And in the meantime, Sumail goes up top. It is going to be a deny on the tower from Miero. But you notice, I mean, there are a lot of ways that you could have gone. Centaur has obviously been very strong this tournament, but going into this Helm of the Dominator, he's not going to be providing a ton. It's going to be on GPK to really run this game, it feels like.
Yeah, you're not looking for an 11-minute Helm of the Dominator. This is not a good Centaur game so far. You want this thing out like ASAP, you want to be pulling waves, you want to be a total nuisance. Not the best game out of him thus far, but scaling later on in the game, we've all seen the power of this Centaur. It certainly helps a bit there for the Slark in terms of just like securing him to slightly better fights. And that tool is always going to be available, and it is a consistent way to initiate into these fights heading later. Yeah, I would like to see him, as the panel mentioned, maybe reaching a little bit deeper to his pockets with so many heroes that he's able to play. But at the same time, Centaur's been really good.
Yes.
You know, you can see it scaling later. It has a certain element of security that you know that later on in this game you can become this beast. I mean, we saw Collapse earlier. It just dominating every single fight on this hero once you have the heart.
And you know, there is another element to this, the psychology of like the last game potentially of your tournament life for Nigma and playing on this timer, and like the pressure to keep things moving and to keep trying to take objectives. Will they succumb to that? Will they sort of hit their timings appropriately? How is that going to play out is the other thing to watch for, is it's going to be a shield rune taken for the Ember now. And he's going second. First item, Ghost Scepter.
Yeah, he is trying to find a way. I mean, this is kind of a funny thing that can happen with Ember sometimes. I remember back here in Shanghai in like 2018, we had the mid-1 first Aeon Disc Ember.
Right.
You know, running around the map, just trying to make plays happen because he was just so countered in some of those games.
Omar, not a great way to get out of here, and will be leashed and killed. Save takes him out.
Up, doing a similar thing, trying to find an item that lets him play the game. And, you know, if we think about Leshrac as a hero in terms of when this hero often looks successful, it tends to be with some sort of a defensive tool. Right. They are going to have that escape act. That's pretty good. It's a very new age thing, obviously, because Ringmaster is one of our newer heroes. But it does do a lot of those same tools that, you know, it's very similar to, like, you know, Oracle, going for the ulti, the false promises, something, because that damage is still going to be pumping out from the Leshrac despite being shoved into the false.
Have to watch and wait. They're going to be able to take these good fights. So far in this series, Boomboys have seemed to be very good at dodging when they don't want to engage. And we haven't seen either squad really able to push that tempo as of yet.
And I'm
just farming.
getting a little nervous, I gotta say. I think Boomboy's holding their tier 1 tower was huge. It has given them some very quick TPs back to the mid lane. They're keeping this pressure into the dire side of the map, partly because of that. I think had they succeeded on that earlier push with the Helm of the Dominator and Divide to take that tower down, I think they would be in a better spot right now. Again, Lorenov in here very deep, farming up these waves, feeling pretty confident in himself.
He's got to be playing this one as best he
Shadow
can.
that was spotted. Sumail was on the wave.
See, respecting it. Boom Boys back away to their side of the river.
Yeah, it just forces Kataomi and Miro to just run them on back.
Yeah. No, it's true. And I mean, now with these Boots of Travel online for Lesh, there is some interesting dynamics that you can have with like TPing onto the wolves too.
Yep.
And Sumail can just sort of like power farm for now and then eventually join in those fights.
He's doing his best Spectre impression, essentially. I wondered if maybe there would be some sort of a similar tool coming out here for the Boom Boys, like that Dawnbreaker or something last. But they're, I think, a little bit more inclined towards the just like slow it down a little bit state. I don't think they're trying to necessarily like rush for a bunch of kills. I think they're going to be more objective focused in that regard. But this is a pretty free looking kill.
Easily done. GH goes down. GPK building up those stacks on this Slark, running the game. 4 stacks of the permanent Agi so far.
Lorenov has done a good job of finding this farm. He has not opted to dive into that Ghost Scepter. You know, it has been queued up for a while. He's going to pick up the shard. Okay. Delaying the game a little more. Getting some extra charges. Oh, Muro. Keeping an eye on what the dire side are up to, just running his creep through here. Now moving into this mid tower.
I mean, he getting into this hard is going to be very hard to bring down. The damage. Nigma. I mean, look, that's a play right there where if it doesn't hit, it tells you something about how they're feeling.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit anxious to be making these moves. GPK easily gets away from that one.
They're very dependent on their Ember to set anything up, and unfortunately, that's part of the counterpick here of the Slark, because it's not just the laning stage, it's this mid-game where you have these classic Ember Mirana combos. Slight into the Searing Chains, into whatever stun is following up. Slark's getting out of there. He's going to press one button, and the follow-up's not going to hit. He doesn't need a friend to get a 4-stab or something to bail him out. He can just take himself out of the situation.
Kataomi finds another, and this is just a little bit of a bait, trying to force some TP rotations, which are then canceled.
They go for a Moonlight Shadow as well. They do get that mid tower finally, though, pushing it with the dragon here as it battles against the Centaur and the Wolves.
Renoff finally gifted a good rune. GPK up the Stampede after a bit of a jump onto Sumail. Sumail liking what he's seen out of Omar. That Nightmare is not going to turn into anything.
All right, well, the Hightail is out and online now for the Lycan as the Shard gets delivered to Devi, so this gives the Wolves a lot more power, and that potential for the TPN from the left track that you mentioned becomes a lot more real.
I mean, this is the moment right here where I feel like I would want to see Nigma making some type of a play, right? You just get an amp damage on the Ember. I mean, granted, it's got the Ghost Scepter. It's not exactly like the fighting item that you want.
Not the intimidation that you're hoping for, is it?
No.
Oh, he's got the Ghost Scepter, guys. Look out.
He won't die immediately. Net, now the reel in, finds the stun, backs away. They do get some damage out from Devi. It starts to hit into Kataomi. Chase forward, amp damage there, but the song already used. And the TP away. This is why it is so frustrating to play against this hero.
I mean, GBK was still showing on the wave down here. Is there any way he can't get out here?
They're hunting, trying. He does have ulti TP. So rooted, but if they're able to bring in the Lesh in time, now he can't TP if Lesh finishes in time. The arrow is there anyways. They find and kill GPK. Devi with the tip.
I mean, that's just a pure greed tip right there, right? Like, there was a song, there was time.
Yeah.
And he stuck around for a little bit more farm and thought, oh, I can waste their time. I mean, how many times have we seen that, right? People chasing, wasting that time, and these slippery heroes still escaping. GPK not successful in that one, and that one hurts.
And if Nero comes in right now and shows on this wave, now Sumail shows first. So they can't make any play there. But has the Sanj and Kaya done? Omar is trying to build into a Blink Dagger. Again, elimination games. You think you're safe on the Slark, not so.
Yeah, this this 5 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes, this nighttime has been so pivotal this tournament because this is where you can gain enough of an edge that makes it so the enemy can't fight you with the Tormentor or can't fight you in the first road. Or you find the little holes in the vision to get in and drop some wards. Sumail leading the way here.
They do have Miero. They also have Wolves. Tries to get it. The Fear not quite going to connect. That was almost enough for a kill. And now GPK coming in from behind. Does have a Lotus. Is it going to be enough to keep him alive, though? The damage is out. The silence is there. The heal comes in. And now the arrow dodges away from it. They bring down Sumail.
There's no escape act in time.
Omar not able to keep his buddy alive. And the Tame the Beast will not matter.
Tried to max it like crazy. I think he had a Lotus as well that they got through that, and then the Lotus.
And they find another. GH next down.
What a response here, bringing in Kiritich. A mistake maybe from game one where they weren't able to get him involved as early on. This time he shows up. He has an Orchid, and Sumail is out of it for a while. Because until he is a BKB, he's going to be very worried about coming back into a fight. And that goes for the Ember too, obviously. Like, he cannot afford to get Orchided. He just got gripped up to his death. An Orchid being in these fights, this game is not for him right now.
Kiritich. Anna was talking about getting 3 items, but him being involved that early definitely spells some issues. By the only one not to die in that last little battle. And he too is trying to, after the Helm of the Overlord, go in for a BKB and then the Nullifier. But will it come online quickly enough? Now a 5k gold lead here.
Arrow's gonna have that heart in just a moment on that Centaur. And I don't think you have the damage to deal with him and then everything else that's left there from the Boom Boys.
Okay, this Mage Slayer, the Diffusal Blade. Definitely an issue. Now nearby, GH. Back out. But yeah, I mean, you can see some of the ways that this stuff could work, and it could look good for Nigma if you get everything working together in concert, but it feels like slowly and steadily, this Boom Boy roster kind of has what it takes to control the game.
Yeah, it's worth noting that, you know, a historical counter that Leshrac was to Slark, Mage Slayer didn't exist back then.
Yeah.
And Mage Slayer, obviously, it reduces all damage that you're dealing. So it's going to reduce that pure damage. It's going to reduce that magical damage. It is just by sticking on top of that Leshrac. And that's where the escape act can really come into play, too.
Yeah.
Just removing the possibility of attaching that debuff.
Again, I think right now, it's tough, right? Because, like, on the one hand, for Nigma, you want to go in and fight. You want to try and sort of punish this Naga Siren, but you know if you make that move, you're missing out farm on the map. Well, the rest of Boom Boys is farming, and if you make that move and you don't have your BKBs, she just songs TPs. Like, the fight, the ganks that you make have to be so perfect.
Yeah, their draft relies on Ember starting these fights, and Lernov is still just in catch-up mode.
Yeah.
He's got his Ghost Scepter. He's not ready to be the front face here, so they've been trying to do it through Omar, and it's just unreliable in the end to go for these whips into the Wheel of Wonder. It's incredible when you hit them, but every single time it's not a guarantee. It's a straight-up question of just like, is my support going to hit this? Like, are they going to walk in the right way that this ends up working? Very, very hard to make it consistent.
And damage denied. Thing that makes the game a little bit scary at all. Boom Boys are going to try and shut down, not give them the ability to take that fight. Now, this is going to be a completed BKB on the way for Divide. And when BKBs are there, that is another way to make sure the Naga Siren does not TP out.
Radiant are scanning.
Really tough.
Smails is getting there as well. I mean, he's kind of nervous. Like, look where Omar is sitting next to Smail right now. There is not a Radiant hero for miles, but they don't know. I mean, he's just camping right next to him in their river, just sharing all the farm together because they're not sure what Boom Boys are up to. You know, you're hoping to have vision control and a really good idea of what the opponent is up to when you have this Lycan on your team, but part of it also means dealing with the split push that a Naga Siren provides. And that's also going to take some of your resources. So they are able to get the Tormentor here, even with just a couple heroes. The Mirana nearby will device solo.
Not what you want to see. And the grip in the BKB is to add insult to injury. Can they even kill Katomi? He does have a smoke if he needs to use it, but they're not going to need to. And GPK tips him back.
That's deserved, let's be clear. He earned that tip right back his own way on Divide. GH, he was nearby, but wasn't able to help his bud. So he will get the shard rewarded to him, but mid lane, Miro forces a zip back out of Lorenov, and a smoke now coming out here from Boom Boys. They want to keep the ball rolling.
This is not what you wanted to see out of Nigma Galaxy at this point in the game. 2 kills. Almost nothing done in this match in a series that has been a whole lot of nothing for one team or the other. And now you're taking a look at 71% chance. Feeling it. Dota Plus for the Boom Boys.
Look at that. Stomp in, no chance for the save.
Got him.
Okay, gets the last touch.
Tough stuff indeed.
This Slark pick, it did exactly what they had hoped. It has just, like, Lorenov is 24 minutes in and just still trying to find some place in this match. 0-1-1. They haven't been able to do anything on his team because he is the one who needs to set it all up.
Wolves? All right, you ready for this? The TP, oh, they're dead. Wait, no, they're still alive. Okay. Arrow goes
Roche
out.
is close to moving here.
Yeah, it's going to be very close. They might actually be able to hold this off.
Yeah, no, they're definitely not going to finish it right now.
Okay. So with the Wolves coming in, I mean, there is that TP onto the Wolves potential for an Aegis steal.
Lyrical, she has a heart.
You're not wrong.
2,700.
That is, oh man.
Like, I don't know.
Kiritich is definitely farming up a storm. And it does not feel like there is anything right now that is worrying Kiritich.
Look at the positioning from Nigma Galaxy. They're smoking behind their tier 2 right now.
They need to find a kill. They've got to get something. You can't go out like this on the main stage. They're trying to find somebody, anybody. Now, GPK
uses the smoke to get a good defensive Roche ward. So if the fight happens down here, they have this vision kind of onto the bottom half of the pit. Mel waiting, prepared to answer the bat signal here.
Make sure once he TPs, there's no resummon on those wolves. That would be real
bad. That would not
bad.
be good. Aim for the big creep, maybe.
Yeah,
you know?
that's right.
Go for that.
Bounty rune gets taken, and Roche hit the other creep with Device.
Problem is there is no rush for Boom Boys.
Yeah.
I am not in any way concerned. I mean, they have gone for the Aghanim Scepter on the Slark next to just continue his domination over this map. You have to be very concerned about his ability to just lock you down and force you into a bad fight when he picks this up. Naga Siren is just going to keep on scaling and scaling. Now, she is the infamous vacuum, you know?
Yes.
She sucks up all the farm into herself, often denying a lot of this gold from her teammates, and often leaving the XP just into the ether, thanks to the illusions. So that thing has hurt the Slark a little bit. GPK is a bit behind. He's only a little bit ahead of Lorenov, but obviously with the Naga Siren, it doesn't matter too much. So when does the counterplay of the Leshrac matter versus the Naga? And to me, that's like late. It's like talents have to be fully out for the Leshrac.
Scepter.
Yeah, like it's got to be everything. I mean, he's going Shiva's guy, which is great. Obviously, just any chasm buildup is going to be very good on the Leshrac. So eventually it does loop back around a little bit, but it comes down to how big is the lead at that point.
Good vision here with these wolves. They walk into the sentries and now they see him. GPK taking out that vision.
All right, there's still no answer to this Orchid right now. So Lorenov he can't come into this fight.
Yeah,
it is coming right now. The BKB's on the way, on the courier.
Okay.
So they can delay this a little bit, but
it's not going quickly.
But there's still the song. They got to find some answer to this.
I mean, the BKB is a pretty good one. Roche gets hit by the arrow. GPK over by the wolves. Boom Boys.
Galaxy, only 2 kills this entire match. Is this their fight?
I mean, listen, if they get an uncontested Roche, I don't see how they really deal with the pressure that's coming.
They're doing too. They're setting up. They want them to walk out here a little bit.
GPK breaks the smoke. Steps in.
Divide. Holds up.
Up going. Ulti out. Roche down low. Roche is low. They're running into the pit. Divide the stomp though from Miero. It's perfect. And now the BKB is used. Sumail on top of the Aegis. GPK there too. They find the stun. The Wheel of Wonder. How much damage they have? GPK in some trouble. He's hypnotized. Pull back in low. Not low enough though. And with Kiritich holding the Aegis, Nigma Galaxy, the hopes, the dreams, they are faltering.
They got both supports for now, but can they get out?
Devi, you're in trouble, sir. The stomp is there again from Miero, and Devi will eventually drop GPK cleans that one up. Kiritich, you're too strong.
Yeah, heartbreak on that one. Even has to leave the Shrine of Wisdom behind. The Wheel of Wonder, they tried their best. Thought they might have had a moment there, but the damage it's just not there. It's not enough to deal with the Naga Siren at this moment. She's a little bit too big. Hearts on 2 of their cores, and Leshrac just can't match that damage yet.
Death by 1,000 cuts. The Naga Siren. Forgotten. No wins so far in this tournament. I think they pick it 4th or something like that. And just a backbreaker of a pick.
That Slark was chewing them apart right there. GBK, you know, he might have been a little bit lower on the net worth, but he has now caught back up quite a bit. And he was just non-stop right-clicking that fight. He's got the Shard, he's got the Aghanim Scepter for the multiple pounces. Once the fight starts turning in their favor, you're not getting away.
They gotta try and hold this one out somehow, some way. For Nigma and for Boom Boys, just don't throw. That's the only thing you gotta be worried about.
I mean, how's the high ground? Slark, real bad. This guy, he don't like hitting buildings. Centaur, Naga Siren, it's a little meh, you know. The illusions obviously are not the big tower pushers they used to be. However, they're very good at killing heroes, and it's really easy to take the enemy base when there's no heroes. Particularly if you get like a Blink Dagger play into the Naga Siren later on. That's how you just end this game right now, I think.
Oh yeah. Well, also, I mean, potentially, if you get this Katomi Aghanim Scepter done, find a grip onto anybody, and yeah, it's hard to deal with.
Kiritich is also just going for a sight. That's the other game, right? You just sight, people will kill him. Bloodthorn plus sight. He already feels strong enough defensively, offensively. He just wants to ensure he can actually utilize all his skills. He's going to take down Divine's Courier. No Aghanim Scepter for you, sir. He's only 250 gold away. Now he's going to have to wait 2 minutes.
That is super annoying. No chance there for that one to work. To be honest, it's not even like the greatest heroes in the world to go for the Wolf Bite, though.
It is interesting. I mean, the movement speed is pretty good.
Yeah.
But the lifesteal aspect is not going to be very fantastic with an Ember or a Leshrac, is it?
No. I mean, so Sumail, getting this Bloodstone, it does make a difference. I think that eventually that late game Aghanims is going to be there too. I'll also say one of the things that has been at times Boom Boys sort of failing has been really putting the pressure on and trying to end games. There have been times where they sit back, they wait for the next stages, the next stages, the next stages. They give too much room, there's a chance that Nigma could potentially pull things back in that super late game scenario, but as of yet, we've not seen that from Boom Boys.
I mean, they're getting some very good securing the game items right now, though. We're hitting like level 20 talents on the Naga Siren. The BKB is done for the Centaur. The Scythe is coming out soon as well. So they look like they're aiming to put this one to bed. They want to be done here on the main stage for today.
I mean, this does not look like a lineup that wants to have to deal with going super duper late game. The Tame the Beast is not going to happen. And Kiritich hits. The silence is there. Diffusal Blade saved for a moment. Well, thinking about throwing out something there. They kill off the catapult. Good Manta dodge. Backs away into the stomp. Sumail lives through it. Lotus Orb out for a moment. Kiritich continues to hit buildings. Devi creep is forward. Now Devi getting punched and pummeled by GPK. Lorenov rooted for a long time.
All right, the creeps are coming back into the moment. Backdoor now down.
Couple more slights. They slow down, but again, eyes on the prize, taking down these melee racks. They finally get the Aghanim Scepter done. Again, put into the box. GPK backs away. Now the jump. They find no stun.
All right, he's fighting the Ember. Here we go. Let's see some slights.
Ember wanting to change. I mean, this just does not feel like it's going to be doing enough. They've still got Song if they need. He's got Aegis for another 30 seconds. They pull back in. Stomp there onto 2. Omar, where's the save? They don't quite have it. Sumail, BKB out. Good damage onto Miero, but this man has a heart. He is so taken. Now the connection, the leash, Devi, gone. No buyback. Boom Boys smell blood in the water with all these fishies. They want to keep chasing. And a building to fall as Boom Boys want to put the exclamation point on this game.
Sumail's going to buy out here. He gets the Veil. He's desperately trying to find damage for his team. They got to clear these illusions and have a hope at killing this Naga Siren. Now the Aegis is gone, but there's a Bloodthorn there ready to tear you apart if you get too close.
You need something. They need anything at all just to try and stop the push, but the push will not stop. They have a coddle behind this. The stun is there. They don't even need to run at Sumail if they want to, but they can. The root, the control. Boys, are they finally going to back? Doesn't feel like it. Arrow actually out connects. GBK brought somewhat low.
They got to throw that wheel just defensively, trying to keep them alive right there. I mean, they're getting silenced on Omar. They have to trade over the Lotuses. They're playing so well to get their spells out, but it's just a little bit more time that they're buying for each other. And Save, yeah, definitely getting the value out of the Coddle in this game, keeping up this pressure. They will finally take a second to reel in their aggression.
I mean,
get a few more spoils.
It does feel like with the Coddle Naga Siren, they could just like keep spamming mirror images in and, you know, hitting buildings, but I guess a little bit wary of pushing too far too fast.
Yeah, there's some cooldowns, like BKB on the Centaur is down, you know.
Yeah.
Just take a breath for a second. There's no massive rush here. Get the creep waves going in your favor. But big upgrade. Renov finishing the Aghanim Scepter.
I mean, you need, and you take everything that you can get, but
Radiant are scanning.
everything doesn't feel like enough. Nigma need more. More items, they need more time. They need different heroes, it feels like, the way this has been going. But level 20 there for Sumail.
That's big.
Is this going to be enough with the Bloodstone almost done?
It's definitely the spell you're trying to boost, obviously, is you're just hitting everything, right? That is the, compared to the Edict, so trying to deal with all these illusions, this is the one that can really pay off for you. But obviously, this is not just one of those games where, oh, as long as I clear the illusions, the fight's going to be fine. I mean, the Naga herself is still the beast. The Slark is a second carry who you also are just struggling to handle and essentially has 2 lives with the ulti and the Depth Strap.
Has that to save the Naga Siren too. And then they've also got the save from the Centaur. The Aghanim Scepter completed.
It's a lot of layers to get through, even some of the harder ones there, like the Nightmare. Maybe saving in a clutch moment. So many tools available for the Boom Boys. Vlads to back it up as well on save. Items ready to end this game. Prophet's Pendulum to boot there on Heritage. As if he wasn't hard enough to kill already. That is really going to be a struggle for the Leshrac to handle.
I mean, again, all these things in a vacuum seem good for Nigma Galaxy to try and get these items and hope for a defense.
I mean, I know
actually taking a fight.
I know it feels bad. I feel like maybe the Shard on Leshrac could be good too here, you know?
Yeah.
This idea of it's so good defending high ground, creating opportunities in these fights, but obviously he really, really wants to finish that Bloodstone first.
Sort of the spellcaster Satanic. It's a lot of damage amp as well. Of course, too, for the Mirana trying to get into that Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah, have a chance of pushing out these waves. Having a bit of damage in these fights. Already having the Aghanims, though, for Lorenov means that into the Refresher next gives him this ability to jump to the back line, try and create some issues for saving Cat Omen.
Sumail would also love to get to his tier 4 neutral. If he can get Conjurer's Catalyst, that has proven to be one of the more insane things that you can get. But it's just hard enough trying to deal with these illusions. We'll see if he can make his way out to go and farm it up, though. They do get a Timeless Partisans brand, so a little bit of damage amplification from the Ember.
10 buff there, not too bad. Jump back from Omar will keep him up.
And the Bloodstone done. So the persistent veil that's there for the Lesh. I mean, they're starting to get the things that they need.
They are, it's true. But
if Boom Boys just didn't hit their buttons, Nigma could probably kill them.
Maybe. But the backbreaker is picked up. Like the Naga Siren with the Blink Dagger is just so devastating going high ground. Like you just wait for your moment, you sing, you get in, and it's like the whole team gathers around the campfire. They're like holding hands and singing and just waiting till the end of the song to pick their targets and blow them up. 28k lead here. Nigma Galaxy desperately pushing back every Radiant enemy from their base, trying to find their win.
I had Kiritich for their fantasy. 800 CS right now. And that Blink Dagger, like you said, done.
Even the full upgrade to the Swift Blink is already finished. That is ridiculous.
Listen, it's a 28,000 gold lead, but if they kill Naga Siren, think about that, Trent.
Then they're only up 10k.
Yeah, exactly.
That's usually not how this looks, folks. I tell you that much.
Sumail just, I mean, he's on illusion duty. I really would love to be able to get that tier 4 neutral.
I mean, he's got Bloodstone. He's going for the shard, so he's figured it out.
Yep.
That Roche pretty much guaranteed, though, for the Boom Boys. Kataomi's been camping in the pit. Sees it spawn now. GPK comes on over, brings Kiritich, so this will go down quick. They have an Arcane Rune.
Now with that, be able to finally finish it. Omar standing very close to his buddy.
There is a buyback here on Ember that they're going to try and go for the steal. They're going in. They need a wolf bite first, though. Give him the bite.
Unfortunately, no chance there, and it's not going to happen. They actually give the Aegis to GPK.
They still go for the bite.
For a run-in.
The gem around here.
On the lane. Just trying to get onto the map, I guess, to go farm the other camps.
Gems on GPK.
So no Conjurer's Catalyst for the Lesh. They're cutting the waves. Save gets one, though, because that seems fair.
This is a nice ghost push, though.
Yeah.
They did notice on Bane, as the wave was just suddenly being obliterated by nothing. He kills it while smoked up. Worried that he's being chased, will go down and then sit back.
Wise to see.
And smoke up here from the Boom Boys. Have they decided it is time to put Nigma to bed? And Nigma going to go out at the same position as last year, and will Boom Boys once again move into top 4?
History repeats itself sometimes. Kataomi, they see that ward placed down. Sumail starts to build up the stacks of the split earth. Now they jump. Stomp is there. Catches him. Where's the save? They need it right now. Right now. Nullify. Hit. GPK still sitting pretty in that BKB. Now BKBs have been expended. The stun connects onto GPK. Another one is there. As the ulti wears out, the root comes again.
Get the banner knocked down. It's a good start.
Okay, they hold their high ground for the moment.
All right, they dangled with their Leshrac, but they have that nullifier, so there was still a lot of layers happening there, but they keep the Aegis. BKB down on the Slark for a minute. Probably going to push back that next push.
No BKBs used for... Lesh did have to use his. Okay. Renoff. Bound. Omar still nearby. Okay, the stun connects. Now the Tame the Beast of Fear. The arrow it hit! The Force Staff trying to keep him alive. They don't know. And actually gets saved by the cart, too. Now they run in, find these Naga Siren illusions, try and kill those off.
There's also an infused Agnes coming for the Naga Siren. That lockdown.
Have it. It's so much damage. It's really hard to stop this push that keeps coming in. The arrow there finds the stun onto 2. The catapults stand strong. Finally, they're going to be able to force him back. But look at Kiritich down on the bottom. The arrow is out. GH throws the arrow to connect. Now the follow-up stun, the fear, immediately keeps him away. GPK onto Sumail. Still not a lot of mana. GPK keeps hitting these ranged racks. It feels impossible to find a fight into this lineup.
He's all alone.
There's nothing to do here at all. Nigma Galaxy, they have been stuck on 4 kills for so long in this game, not even finding a way to take a fight. And GPK continues to hit away on the melee racks. Where's the answer? There is no answer. They get the root control onto Lesh. Now finding this Ember. Lernoff, he goes in the wolf fight, trying to find the backlines, but there it is, the grip, but still managed to kill off the Bane. Okay, the first signs of potentially a decent fight. Sumail still getting focused and taken low. Miero chased down with the Naga Siren to the side. GPK gets hit by a freehand arrow. What a connection from GH, but the buildings are gone. The mega creeps are coming. They find their man. Nowhere to go. Omar is gone. They have only taken 1 more kill, and the TP away, not gonna happen. Supports pairing together to fully back this Ember that just has not had a prayer.
Got a buyback here. They're approaching onto the throne. GPK hasn't given up yet at all on this push.
Boom Boys, they know what's coming. Although, if you lose this, well, Slark, that doesn't matter. There's the silence that comes out onto Sumail. Tries to find the stun timing, doesn't connect. Nullify there onto the Slark. He backs away. Miero finds the stun. Kiritich onto Sumail. The GOAT taken down on the GOAT as he is gone. No buybacks on any of these heroes. Nigma Galaxy, there is no salvation in the well because they are taking your tier 4 towers. Lorenov tries to find a moment. He remnants away. But as the Ancient is exposed, Boom Boys, they get the grip. They get the triple kill. They go into the fountain. GG is called. Boom Boys, top 4.
Congratulations to them. Another game where it felt like one team just figured out how they were going to operate, how they wanted to play this game, and the other team just didn't have an answer. We had 3 straight games of that, where one side just knew what to do, and the other could not find their moment.
Issues in the draft feels to be a consistent concern in this series, and then the play that came out, I mean, what a good pick. Sumail going to be left thinking, what could have been? After he didn't even get to play that game, it felt like devastation.
Yeah, it's a long history of TIs for him here, and obviously he said, you know, this will be my last one. That's what he claims. We'll see if that ends up being the truth.
And on the other side, Boom Boys, they come in, they do their job, they go to work, and they take down Nigma Galaxy. Impressive performance from the squad, who aren't done yet today.
No, they got a little more work to do, and they got some questions to answer, because I think for both teams, this series did not go the way they had hoped. Neither really leaving here with a whole lot of confidence, as some of these games just felt wrong in a lot of ways, right? Like, you gotta go back, examine, and figure out, you know, why did some of our games go so well, and other games just go so sideways?
Boom Boys definitely getting the love from the crowd in this one, as they are continuing on in this tournament. Still a lot more to play through for them. I mean, I think for Nigma too, it's this team that obviously has such a pedigree, such a history. We're this close to being able to make it through to another series. Had us all thinking maybe they had a chance to make it, but Boom Boys shut the door on that one in this game 3 in a pretty spectacular fashion.
Yeah, they got themselves a standing ovation here from the crowd right now. So lots of friends and family here. Very happy to see them win here as we head to the stage.
观众朋友们，欢迎来到赛后采访。那现在在我身边的就是来自 Boom Boys 的 Save 选手。
Oh, I had to wait for the applause to stop there, Save. You have made a lot of new fans here. You guys have fought tooth and nail all season to make it here, and here you are yet again. You fought tooth and nail in this series to make it through. So I gotta ask, my friend, do you still have the energy for another battle tonight?
首先，恭喜你们拿下这场比赛的胜利。整个赛季的话，你们都在奋力拼搏，取得了不错的成绩。然后在今天这场比赛呢，你们也是奋力拼搏，然后拿下了这个系列赛。但是我想问你的话，就是 Save， 你还有没有足够的精力去应对接下来还需要去打的一场硬仗？
Yes, I think we have a lot of emotions left. We knew that we don't need to waste much here because we have a game against Spirit, so we'll see.
是的，我知道我们还有一场硬仗要打，我们其实还有很多的精力，很多的充足。我们在这场系列赛里面并没有浪费太多。我知道后面的 Spirit 比赛才是更艰难的赛事。
Absolutely. We did have a chance to talk to Spirit earlier today. They were excited to see who would make it through, as both of you have fallen to Vision, of course, as well. So you have a long road ahead of you. Are you excited to get some revenge on both of these teams?
我们之前也跟 Spirit 聊过，你们两个队伍的话，其实都是输给了 Vision， 然后掉到了败者组。想问问 Save 有没有信心，然后想不想去完成更进一步，完成自己的复仇？
Yes, I mean I want to win every series and go through the until final or something and get the revenge against Vision.
All right. We will see if that revenge is coming.
我想我们可以一路走下去，然后说不定我们会在最后来终于找到 Vision 去完成我们的复仇。
All right. You and your team have come such a long way. You have now achieved the same placing that you did last year. You and GPK in particular, 1,000 games together. Is there anything that you'd like to say to your Boom Boys about your accomplishment already and about your journey to get here today?
你们的话其实已经追上了自己去年 TI 的成绩，尤其是你跟 JPK 在一起已经打了超过1000场的比赛，有没有什么想跟我们现场所有支持 Boom Boys 的粉丝说的话？
Yeah, I mean JPK is a player that I played the most, I guess, in my career with. We have super synergy together. And yeah, we are waiting for match against Spirit. You know, it's been a while, 5 years, I guess, since TI 10, when we played against them on TI. I guess we'll see what's going to happen. I mean, we're super ready.
确实，我跟 JPK 的话也是一起打了非常久了，然后跟 Spirit 对决，其实我如果没记错的话，上一次我们两个队伍交手是在 TI 时，已经过了5年的时间了，非常期待这场比赛，我们也希望能够有一个好的发挥。好的，那也是感谢 Safe 接受我们的采访，我们把剩下的时间交给我们的分析台。
5 years since they faced each other at the International. Boom Boys and Team Spirit, and Save is already looking forward to that one later tonight. But for now, they can relish in their victory. This was a very well-deserved win, Rhea.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think this is maybe a complete change up from every other series we've seen so far in this tournament. It was so much slower pace, much less kills, but it's interesting to see how methodical they could be when they needed to.
Yeah, it was a very strong showing. I think you mentioned the timing already after the draft. We knew that if Nigma Galaxy was going to be good here, T-Guff, they had to start strong.
Yeah, they had to start strong, and unfortunately, they just weren't able to do that across the entire kind of 3 games. I think game 2, it was immaculate what they were able to generate, but they just didn't have the same ability in game 1 and game 3.
They did not, and with that, of course, Boom Boys, they get the same result as last time, and maybe more. Nigma Galaxy get the same result as last year as well. And for some final words of the top 6, Nigma Galaxy, it's over to Sumail.
Yeah, thanks. I am here with Sumail, the king himself. Just hear that crowd response. Sumail, I know you're bitterly disappointed, and thanks for doing the interview. I feel like this Nigma team has gone from strength to strength in the last few years after what you might refer to as a sort of wilderness period. How far do you think this team can go? Obviously, you finished so well at TI recently. I know you're disappointed today. Is there still more to come from this team?
Nigma Galaxy 这支队伍在过去这几年一直在进步，虽然可能对这次比赛的赛果有点小失望，但是我们想知道，我们日后能不能期待更多 Nigma 的比赛
I don't know, we tried our best. It looked pretty good. We were 1 game away from top 3 last night. And then today was a good series. I don't know, something went wrong. As far as for the team, I'm not sure. This is probably my last event.
我们昨晚就差1场比赛就打进了前3，我们尽力了，但是这个比赛应该是我职业生涯的最后一个比赛。
I know that was something you spoke about before the tournament. You said you were thinking this might be your last TI. Given how well you guys did, is there a chance you might reconsider that?
来上海之前，你确实说过这是最后一届 TI， 但是拿到了前6这样的成绩，足不足让你重新考虑一下？
I mean, I will have to give it some thought for sure, but I don't see it, to be honest, unfortunately.
我肯定会好好的想一想，但是目前来说，暂时不太可能。
Well, I'm still very sorry to hear that, but a lot of people, myself included, who have supported you throughout your career have enjoyed watching you, the fans out there who've supported not just Nigma, but you as well. Is there anything that you'd like to say to them if this is your sign-off?
很可惜，因为我本身也是非常支持，现场也有很多支持你和队伍的粉丝，有没有什么想跟大家说的？
I mean, thank you for everyone, to be honest, for these cheers, for the support throughout the years. It's been rough the past few years, you know. And at the end of the day, I said it, I'll say it again, you guys make it. You guys make Dota great, to be honest. We are just playing video games, so really appreciate it, and yeah.
非常感谢大家多年来的支持。我说过了，但是我还是想说一遍：如果没有你们，就没有 Dota。我们只是打游戏，但是你们是社区很重要的一部分。谢谢你们的支持。
A lot of love in the arena for Sumail, a lot of love from online for Samil and his career as he announces that he has no plans on returning, resuming in 2015. That was his first international, and he was a Royal Roader at just 16, 17, T-Gov, which is incredibly impressive.
I mean, you cannot understate what Sumo did for Dota, has done for Dota. So it's like, again, like hearing him going for retirement, ending his career, it's like, it's just sad. It's just like no one wants to, everyone wants to watch Sumo play. Like the fact that Nigma weren't informed to see them at every LAN, it was sad. And now, after this performance, how they played yesterday, unfortunately didn't work out today, but it's like, this is the type of player, the type of team that you always just want to see at every single event. Like they captivate the world with how they play the game.
Yeah, and impact the world, impact the mid lane, Rhea, as well.
Impact the mid lane, impact my heart.
Yeah.
I mean, Sameo was like, one of the old god of players that like I grew up with Dota with, watching him play. So, to have him at the TI was a treat. I'm so glad I got to see him pull out the Lestrak, even though it didn't work out. It's a hero that has been wholly ignored this tournament, and it's something of a beautiful classic. So,
yes,
it was nice to see them at least try.
Poetic in a way, absolutely, as this game did not go the way that Nigma Galaxy wanted it. And of course, we say goodbye to Samil here from the scene, and of course with Nigma Galaxy now also from the international as a whole. They end top 6. This game was not meant to be, Winston.
Yeah, it's very, very sad. It looked really good. I thought the stars were aligning, but I mean, this Lash hero, he's not really picked for a reason. He has a lot of glaring weaknesses. His window in the game is very small. You have to snowball really hard, and this Mage Slayer item kind of just makes it so difficult for this hero to enter the game. I mean, it was a really good try, though. I genuinely thought that there was a chance that this strategy might work.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I just want to say I did take a look. We talked about the Slock and the matchup mid against the Ember Spirit. So GPK has played this matchup twice, and last time it was against Mikoto Ember Spirit, and they did go even on net worth at minute 10. The reason for this was simply because they tried to get a kill at level 1 on the runes, and he skilled Pounce. That is literally it. Because he did that, the Ember Spirit was able to gain 5 CS and 2 denies on the first wave, and was able to get a HP advantage, and then literally, that was it. That was enough to make it so the Slot couldn't dominate Ember Spirit. In this game, we see the GPK has replay reviewed. He understood. We skill our E, we shiv the Ember, and he cannot lane. It was unbelievable advantage. The CS was just like he had 20 plus it.
It was not even close. It ends on 95% kill participation. Granted, there weren't that many kills in the game, so that definitely helps towards that percentage for sure. I also want to touch upon what we heard Save say, T-Gov. He said they didn't feel like they needed to use a lot in this game, energy-wise.
Yeah, I feel like, honestly, this series comes down to a lot about draft, in my opinion. I think the team that had the better draft just kind of walked through the game. In game 1 and 3, of course, Boom Boys had the better draft. I think Nigma did get the edge, of course, in that second game, but it didn't really feel too much about big play, big team fight, the synergy of communication, all this stuff. It was just, what do you have on paper? Throw it into the game, and as long as you click your buttons, you're going to naturally win the game.
Yeah, so, unfortunately, the prep was just, I think, what made the difference. And you could say that maybe yesterday they ended really late. It kind of made it really hard for them to have enough time. I'm sure they had time, but whether it was enough, we don't know. And the result clearly showed that it was not enough for them to get a victory here.
It was not enough. This was still hard fought. They tried their best. They tried to delay the game, even knowing that that draft was going to be so difficult. The later it went, they went late anyway. Fought valiantly, but Nigma Galaxy, the stars are lining on number 6 for them. 5th-6 is where they'll stand. Now, I know we have heard Boom Boys and Team Spirit that are facing each other later today. They both talk about facing Vision. So they're kind of already eliminating each other in their heads, which is cool. And they also have in their heads that they're going to face Vision in that grand finals. And there's still another team that would like to say something about that, because we do have 4 teams remaining. We'll have 3 by the end of the day, because either Boom Boys or Spirit won't get that chance to face Vision. But maybe they'll face Vision a little bit earlier than they thought, because they might be in the lower bracket. I'm talking about Yandex. I'm talking about the upper bracket finals. We have got Team Vision taking on Team Yandex. After a little bit of a break, it will be Natty and her team to take you through that one. Before we get there, we are going to explore the venue with Slacks.
Everybody, I thought I'd give you a tour around the arena. Sir Action Slacks here with a little walkthrough of all the different sights to see around the old bowl, as they say. We're gonna start things off with this embroidered Aegis. This is a real embroidery done by a master of embroidery in his own specific style, specifically to the Aegis that you'll be seeing on people's backs. Here we have our haul of different jerseys and rings throughout all the TIs. This is where it all started, baby. TI 1. Over for the free-to-play pin is there, the original shirt, the original ring, and there's so many beautiful designs. We've seen some of these before, but just seeing the growth of Dota 2, all the different rings, you get to pick your favorites. I know one of mine used to be this guy right here, just a standard Team Liquid, got a bunch of gems and stuff, but I have to say, oh, this is a cool one if you want to say. This one is Tundra, and they made the ring itself look like the logo, very cool. But I gotta take you to the new edition. This is last year, Team Falcons, absolutely beautiful purple ring in there. I can't wait to see what next year's ring will be, but we'll have to do that on next year's tour as we keep going onto the attractions. Do you want to take a little seat? Well, come on over to the Secret Lab booth. You can see a beautiful replica of the Aegis, partake in some stuff, and go look at some chairs. Now, Secret Lab has been one of the only sponsors with the International here, one of our official partners here. We have had custom chairs every single year, and they are beautiful, dating back all the way to 9. Look at this purple bad boy. So yeah, I personally love this year's chair. I think it's fantastic. We've got that nice logo on the back celebrating our embroidery theme this year. A lot of Chinese stuff, but me at home, I'm a classic boy. Dota logo for life. Hi, hello everybody, yes. What's your name?
My name is Scarlett.
Oh, fantastic. Welcome. This is our secret shop area. We saw you hanging out here, admiring it before we came. We have all the stuff in the secret shop in this glass case. What did you like? Was there anything interesting for you?
I buy this one.
Oh, the chess set? This thing is massive.
Yeah, and this one.
Oh, and the mouse pad? You went shopping today. Not the Ogre Magi cape?
No.
No, not the big Chungus Froggy?
No, I have a small one.
Oh, you got little Chungo. Okay, no problem. Well, that's a very good selection. I can't believe you got that whole thing. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
My favorite thing got to be this gigantic Crystal Maiden.
Yeah, I love this too.
You got this?
No.
No, but you want it.
Yeah, I want
Well,
it.
congratulations. I hope one day you get to have it. But
Yeah,
yes, the
thank
secret
you.
shop has many cool things. Can you give us a go buy stuff?
Yay!
Here we have some never, I believe, released art from the game, and it is very, very interesting. You got some creeps here firing lasers and stuff. Got some beautiful rivers out there before it actually got out. I know this one was a preview to the back of TI-10 on Roshan, which was cool. We've got some massive lane pictures. Now, you might have seen stuff like this anti-mage background picture before, but this is the full-size one. I never knew there were Radiant Towers behind anti-mage. This is early concept art of Dota 2 heroes and other things, and it is fascinating to see stuff like early Underlord, early TA, Arc Warden, Monkey King. These Slark before and afters are absolutely unreal. Did you know Abaddon was supposed to ride on the Haunted Gryffindor? I never knew that. But yes, absolutely fantastic. And this one I know I've never seen, the early concepts of Aghanim. So if you're a lore nerd, come and check out the early concepts. It is super cool. Welcome to the secret shop, my friends. There he is, the shopkeeper in his beautiful